I'm live. Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. Hello, boys and girls. This is what you see on the face of most of the anons. This is what you see on the face of people that know what the fuck's going on. I'm just sitting back, smiling. You got a hell of a show coming up. It blows my mind that there are. Oh, I hope I have that link handy. Let's start off with that. Just the very beginning of things. If not, yes, I do. Oops. Let me show you this link right here. What they're doing right now is hosing you with information now. Now you're giving too much information. So don't get down all these little rabbit holes. Go and take a look at this right here. And we'll just go over it quickly. I'm not going to do a full-on thing. But I was going to do it last weekend, and all this other stuff came up. And then my friend's mom died, and we got this insane funeral that we're going to go to where people are going to drive by because they're afraid to go into the funeral home, and the fucking church wouldn't let them take the body into the church because, I don't know, all of a sudden dead bodies. I mean, just really? So you can't have regular funerals. When are the 2 times we get together? The 2 times we get together, weddings and funerals. So they're trying to make it so that you can't. This is the normal that you want. This is the life that you want. You got to wear a mask. You got to stay 6 feet away from people and your loved ones and so forth. I don't know how it's going to go tomorrow because I know that the people at the mortuary are going to try and enforce their stupid rules, and I'm not having it. Anyway, top of the afternoon. Anyway, go take a look at that link that I just put there. Is what's happening. What's happening is everything. Everything's happening. Like, it's happening. It's not just kind of happening, it's happening. So anyway, if you look at that, the first thing is the declass from the FISA. If you scroll down a little bit more, you got the Epstein flight logs there and all the people that were like 73 pages worth. You got the Hunter Biden files in there. You got everything but the kitchen sink. I think the kitchen sink is coming though, but be aware. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, the very last link is weather modification patents. That's fun. And the second to the last link is the Epstein flight logs, because they know people would scroll all the way down. How about Epstein's little black book, unredacted? Wouldn't you like to know who's in there? Well, now you can find out. Epstein's black book has many people in there that you will know. While I'm here, and like I said, I'm amazed that I still have it. See, now that what they're doing is this is fucking brilliance. Is that if you're still on YouTube, which I am, obviously, then you must not have any credibility. I'll take it. Right? Because you weren't important enough to get banned. I'm not important enough to get banned. I've been saying this the whole time. I got 1,700 followers. 5 people watching right now. Really? They're coming after me. Really? They're taking my stuff down. Okay, that should be a clue to the rest of you that how bad this can get. Because I'm a nobody, nothing here on Maui that's nobody. Meantime, the president, really, if they can censor the president, they can censor anybody. That should be the clear. That's the message that they wanted to send, by the way. Well, part of the message that they wanted to send. And you might be surprised at who's sending the message. Like I said, you had to be given a dose of what was in store for you. And some people were still like, oh, no, I'm cool with that. Oops, not that. Oh, wait, here, just for fun. I'll just show you this just because. What's that? I don't know if you can see it. That is a big hunk of deer that I've been hacking and eating. Oh my God, it's delicious. Fresh. Poor thing wandered into somebody's garden who had a firearm, and now he's food. So yeah. Anyway, like, quit eating my vegetables, and they went in the house and shot it. But now we get to eat it. And it was a pretty good sized deer, because I'm telling you, I took half, and I got in freezer, and we've eaten it for like 3 days. And this is not gamey deer. This is like delicious, crazy, the way it can be. If you've ever had fresh venison, it's good. It's not that gamey, nasty stuff. All right. Who dat? Oh, she's not wearing green. Oh, what color is she wearing? Oh, look, her hair's short. This used to be a pretty girl with long hair. What happened? Oh, she had to cut her hair. And then she tried to put some color in it and make it look like she joined the club. No, the bitch joined the club, right? And she's wearing the colors just to make sure, right? And if she would have had a green sweater or a green something, that would have even been better. But anyway, can you tell what club she joined? I can tell just by looking. All right. And it just makes me sad. Just makes me sad that these people can't choose left-hand path from right-hand path. That path does not nurture children. This path, even if you're not actually like involved in the traffic and doing the horrifying things, you're still messing with their minds, and you know it. The movies that they make, right? Because most of the children cannot do the discernment to understand, like, say, when they watch Pirates of the Caribbean, they don't understand, oh, dead man's chest. Yeah, I should get my dead man's chest. They don't understand what's going on there. They don't understand that there is actual notice going on in the movies. And have you seen all these pictures? Oh, can I find? Oh, no, I don't, because I don't. They're not on that. They're on. See, I have all these multiple drives ever since the crash, and it's hard to find information. But if you take a look around, you'll see many, 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 many National Guardsmen sleeping in the Temple of Liberty. Anyway, there's your clue. There's a big clue. I can't see, and we're at the point on this channel that if you say certain keywords, the AI will shut you down, or you'll get your channel taken off. I'm still going to try and make a long one this weekend, but I don't have the means, I don't think. Well, not the means, but I'm not going to have the time. Like I said, I got funerals. I got another friend of mine. This is awesome. He is a bit of a hoarder, but he was hoarding for a purpose, and that purpose has come to pass. He got a piece of property on this island way the hell out in the boonies. It's a raw piece of property, no electricity, no running water, no nothing. It's a piece of raw land. But he has been collecting all manner of stuff to turn that piece of raw land into a lovely fairy paradise, food forest, etc., and a place for him to live and so forth. And I mean, literally, he's going to build that place from scratch. And all the materials are laying around on this other property, and he needs to move it because he lost his. It's a long story, but we loaded like 2 semi trucks yesterday, and I mean big ass trucks, and we didn't even touch it. We didn't even make a dent in it. So see, my one boy, and hopefully I'm getting my both boys. My younger boy, I think, can do this kind of labor because it's just labor, just picking stuff up and carrying it and moving it. And the third guy, when we were lifting up this freaking ironclad bathtub over our heads onto this truck, 6 guys, no problem. 2 guys, we couldn't have done it. 4 guys would have been a problem. 6 guys, right? Ma lama lama. That's a Hawaiian concept, right? Many hands make the work light. Anyway, my youngest boy, they'll pay him $20 an hour if he'll show up. My oldest boy is there right now, doing stuff, having a fun time. I had a really fun day in the market, I have to say. Gold stocks, get your gold stocks. Get your gold stocks right now. Junior miners, I'm not going to give you tickers or anything like that because I want to be responsible, because I know there's this one stock. People are jumping in now. It's a penny. I got in there at like 0.00007. All right, do the math. How many times up am I? All right, I can't in good conscience tell you to buy this stock because I have no risk. It's not, I mean, right? So there are guys, and see, this is the thing. There are guys that jumped in yesterday because they got all excited, and they're up 30%. But the stock is at the high of, it's at a 52-week high. You're buying it at the very highest high. They're expecting it to keep going. I'm a little more leery than that, and I may be, actually, as they're buying, I'm getting out. See, that's the game that you want to play. I'm trying to teach my sons how to trade in the stock market, and the trick is not to look at the value and the dollar column. The trick is to look at the shares and the share price. And right now, all the shares I have in that thing, basically my cost basis, are 0. So telling you to buy it when I have no risk is a bad idea. But you should have been buying it when it was like, way the hell down there. And now, when it fluctuates today, I fluctuate several times my initial investment, just because it moved like 28. That's 4 times the amount of money I put in to begin with. Right? I mean, down, and then it moved back up again, and then we ended up the day. I don't know where we ended the day. I was just looking at it. Hold on a second. I can tell you. And you're not interested in this kind of stuff, but you ought to be, because my son figured out that the amount of money I made today would take him 100 days at $20 an hour. Do the math. This is why I keep telling him. It ended the day up 33%. Right? So, I mean, that's how much of a fluctuation all over the place. So today, the amount, oh my goodness. So let me do the math. 5 times, almost 6 times my initial investment today, because it's moving now. So your idea is to understand that the name of this game is buy low, sell high. The name of this game is not buy bottom, sell top. If you try to buy bottom, like I have this other stock, this mining stock. I started buying it when it was 13 cents. I just bought more shares today at 9.5 cents. I know that eventually that those shares are going to be worth a whole lot more than 13 cents. That's correct. I pulled the trigger too early, and I should have waited for it to come down. Then all my shares would be at 9. But okay, so I'm buying on the way down. That's called dollar cost averaging. If they take it lower, I'll buy more shares. If it goes higher, you buy less shares, and you just do this thing called dollar cost averaging. And if you don't understand these terms and these words, it's probably not a good idea to risk your money in a super high risk investment. I like to play penny stocks in the OTC. Most people don't have the guts to handle it. And when I say guts, I don't mean I mean guts. You can't. I mean, people can't handle it. They can't handle it. My girlfriend just got to the point where she couldn't even look at the brokerage account because she just right. Because one day it's up, next day it's down because the market's been wild. Fortunately, it's been more up than down, so the count's been going like this, slowly but surely it's been going up. And this is the thing. Understand that you need to figure some things out if you are going to be in this fight, because it's a fight, and we're not over. Just like, I don't know, you guys are thinking that the thing's done on inauguration. No. See, I can't say the full words, but you know what I'm talking about on the... oh, do I have a pen? Look, I have this thing. But even their AI can do this now. You know, they didn't used to be able to, but they couldn't tell. They used to not be able to. Look at this. Ooh. See, this was me doing some calculations on anyway. And I find that my son, he can't do the calculations fast and easy in his head quite yet. And he's getting to the point, well, so he'll just have to practice more. I'm looking for my eraser and I don't see it. Did it fall down? I don't want to use my hand. I'm going to erase it. There it is. All right. So, there's a date you should be looking forward to right around here. I'm going to say anywhere in there. I can't. It depends because you got minutes and hours going on. But that, and this is, of course, that's going to be exciting. That's a long time from now. In geological time and in political time. Well, in political time, this is forever away. But I mean, overall, like I said, if you think we're throwing off this yoke of people that have been absolutely the absolute masters of you and yours, whether you knew it or not, and most of you didn't know it, in one presidential term, you're out of your minds. It's going to take a lot to clean up. And then there's going to be cleanup after the cleanup, right? You get the initial stuff, but there's going to be more to do. But like I said, take a look at those drops. And if you still think that a guy like me, and that's just the stuff I can show you, that's just the stuff that's allowed out. That's on the internet. That's a link, right? There's other stuff. That I'm not allowed to show you. Anyway, but the idea is that, yeah, shit is happening. And if you think shit's not happening, you out your mind. There is all kind of fun stuff happening. But if you think, you guys keep putting dates on it. Oh, it's going to be the 6th. Oh, it's going to be the 3rd. Oh, it's going to be the whatever it is. Quit putting dates on it. Stuff's happening. And we know that, like, okay, it's like World War II. You knew the war was coming to an end. You just didn't know when, right? So if you were all depressed that it didn't end on in January, well, okay, February, March, April, pretty soon. Oh, no, finally they signed that they stopped. And what happened? A couple of big booms happened, and then it ended. A couple of big booms are coming. I can't say it. See, if I say it, and not because I'm not allowed, well, because of the AI here, because of the thing. But we'll just say, you know, the guy that didn't do that, he didn't do that. That didn't happen. He didn't do that. There's going to be a lot of people that do that, but he wasn't one of them. And nobody else did either. That guy, have you ever heard of witness protection? Okay. Because out of everybody, would you rather have that guy in a cell where everybody knew where he was, or would you rather have the story be that somebody, him dead and they don't, right? And blah, blah, blah. Here's some fun stuff. Find me the funeral arrangements. Find me all that stuff on him, and pictures, because they always take pictures before they cremate the body. Even my own mother, because they want to make sure that for their own records and for liability purposes, they didn't cremate the wrong body. Several of the people, see, death is a secret in our society, and most people don't understand how it all works. But that is the most powerful man in your county is the guy that can sign a death certificate. Because that's when the contract comes to an end, and that's when they can start doing their things. All right. Now, understand, fraud vitiates all contracts. Understand what those words mean. So here are a couple of things that I've sent out so far. And basically, this is just 2 letters, not 4. This is so that I can read my chicken scratch, and this is my chicken scratch. which comes with a fingerprint and so forth. Well, actually a thumbprint. And see, I only have one. I don't have me, myself, and I on these documents because I'm just writing to our buddies at the private company known as the Maui Family Court in the Second Circuit, which is a private corporation. These are privateers acting in the public, and I can prove it, and I have the documents to prove it that they don't have. They're not a not-for-profit, not a tax-exempt government entity. They are a private corporation that does legal business that was contracted by the Republic to handle the legal business. All right, and then this is season's greetings, right? Be friendly to them, right? And then put some stuff, and if I was gonna get really fancy in some of my documents, spend a little time doodling around the edges and personalize your documents, right? You can make originals. They can't make originals. They can copy originals, but they can't make them, right? And now you have to know what to do. And even this, way too long, right? Way too long. But I did in this one little thing what other people did in like 30 pages. I did in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paragraphs. And many of those paragraphs were one sentence long. All right. I was absolutely guilty, fucking guilty of writing just stupid amounts of documents. Okay. Don't do that. Right. If you know what you're doing, are you the first one? All right. So you don't need to put all the law and the code and all the other shit in there. No. Just, right. As one person said, I thought it was great. This was just a snide comment in a long video, like a 4-hour thing that they had recorded. But one of the persons said, you ain't getting out filling out their forms. There ain't no IRS form you can fill out and become a free man, you dumbass. I mean, for fuck's sake, really? You think that there's some form that you can get from the government? I used to think that, actually. I'll give you that. That there was a form that I could get from the government, and then I just fill out this form. No, that's not how it works. If you fill out their forms, that's basically you telling them that you acquiesce and that you agree and that you have tacit agreement and consensual, right? Or you have consented because that signature will always have adhesion on their forms. This doesn't adhere to anything else. These are my documents. So the signature that's on this right here with my thumb is not part of a secret with a T-E right on the end contract and secret liens and secret contracts that you'll never see, right? If you see them, they'll kill you. And that's all coming to an end. But the idea being is you start sending in your documents. And see, I sent it to one IRS office. I got to send it to a couple of more IRS offices, right? I can't just send it to the one because it's a huge bureaucracy. This is Brazil. This is the movies that they tell you, right? So just because I sent it to this, I still got to send it to other portions of that agency, that entity that you know as the Department of the Treasury Internal Revenue Service. What you want is the Treasury Department's Internal Revenue Service. Hear the difference? The idea is that you have to let people know that you are a living being, that you are a creation of God, that you are a living celestial being, living soul, a man. Just man is good enough. See, and what they've tried to do, and even in their diction and all the bullshit programming, is to try and make you think that you're not a man or a woman, you're a person, because you wouldn't want to offend people. You're not a person. And see, your idea of person is man and person, same thing. Woman and person, same thing. I'm sorry, does man sound like person to you? Person. What is it? Where does it come from? You're a son of, right? Per son of what? Well, you're thinking per son of God, and they're thinking per son of corporation. And same thing. When the corporate, you're not a corporation. Do you have a board of directors? What? No, you have some fucking trustees that you don't even know about and so on, but no. Okay, what you are is a corporate person. That doesn't make you a corporation. That makes you part of the corporation called the United States. Oh, sorry. Put the "the" in there for them. They don't get the "the." You're a part of the corporation called United States. There you go. State of Hawaii, state of California, state of Illinois, state of Florida, state of Texas. That's the person you are. You are a son of that. And you are counted in the county as one of those things because they want to know how much chattel property they have. And they have all kind of documents and tables and so forth to figure out what you're going to be worth in a year. And then they write, or in a year and in a lifetime. And then they write bonds on that. Simple as that. And then you're too stupid to claim them. I didn't claim my mom's bonds when she died. I didn't claim my dad's bonds. I didn't know there was anything to claim because I went to a public school. Well, I didn't go to a public school, but I went to a school where they didn't explain that to us. They did give us hints, though, as opposed to my friends that did go to public school. At the end, now when I go back to the baccalaureate and I listen I wish we had a recording of it because that's just the memory, and memory is not as good as a recording. And now it would have been recorded, but you got to remember this was way back in the 80s, early 80s, and not every device, recording something was not that easy to do. But anyway, when looking back, I now realize that they were giving us plebes clues. Some of the people in our class knew more than others. Let's put it that way. Dear. Anyway, like I said, just get myself in all kind of fucking trouble. But the idea being is that those Jesuits that were talking to us, they were trying to tell us. And see, if you knew, if we had eyes to see and ears to hear, we would have known what he was saying. That, yeah, your education didn't end today. This diploma is not the end of it. This is the beginning of it. And there's a lot of shit you don't know and that you need to discover. And we gave you all the tools to do it. And sure enough, they did. But they're not going to give the average person the ability to claim their bonds. They're not going to tell them that, oh, yeah, by the way, you don't have to show up in court. And by the way, your car is user-corrected. And by the way, look on your account. Like I was just with my girlfriend. Look at, well, not with, on the phone with my girlfriend, where I showed her, it's this. Joint tenants with rights of survivorship. That's what's going to be on all your documents. And it'll even be in parentheses, or it'll be in all caps. Joint tenants with rights of survivorship. You don't own that fucking account. You're a tenant. That doesn't say joint owners. That says joint tenants. Look on your mortgage. It'll be this. Dude, I used to teach this to people so that they could get their securities licenses and insurance licenses and stuff like that. I used to be part of this fucking thing. Right? And then one day I figured out that no. And then that's the same day I fucking walked away. Right? And that was a pretty fucking good income. That doesn't mean I can't play in the market if I don't want to, or if I want to. But the idea being is that you look on your mortgage. Yeah, you look on your mortgage account. You look on your bank account. Joint tenants with right. You don't own those things. You don't own anything. They own all of it, right? They're now telling you the truth when they say you'll own nothing. You'll be happy. You already didn't own anything. There isn't any fucking money. There isn't any fucking time, right? So why you spend your money? Why you spend your time making money? It blows me away. So see, this is why what I've been doing to my son is I've been taking him out and he trades 1 hour of his labor, and sometimes he's beat, and sometimes he has allergy attacks, and sometimes right, for $20, right? I don't have any bills laying around on the thing at the moment. I did, but anyway, but for some pieces of paper. Okay, or you can be like me and today. You know what I did today? I went click, and then I went click. And I made more money than he'll make all day today. And he's helping them. Well, we've already mustered everything and loaded the trucks and so forth. So now they're getting that area that we cleared off. They're filling it again. And it's going to happen several more times. This guy, like I said, he accumulated shit because he knew this day was coming. And he ready. That boy ready. And he got chickens, and he's got all kind of starters because he's going to have a full-on garden. And he's moving out of a food forest. He was already on a kind of a hippie commune type place that kind of fell apart like they all did. But the idea was to turn this property into a food forest. And sure enough, it's got bananas, and it's got lychee, and it's got avocados, and it's got certain trees. I don't even know the name of it. And it's, but they give fruit, tangelos and oranges. And what else is on that property? Macadamia. I mean, just, there's food there. You don't have to leave that. You can eat on that property. You literally could. I could stay down there today and eat. Put a few animals in there, like chickens and so forth. Now you got eggs. Okay, so he's going to do the same thing in a different place where it's his. Because right now he's on, it was anyway, like I said, it got complicated. And he just fucking collected his stuff, and now he's going to go. All right, he don't work. That guy don't work. Right? He doesn't trade his time for money. And see, my son is starting to figure out, but both my boys are starting to figure out, wait a minute, so you work for an hour and get $20, or you can be like Dad and not work, hardly. Do what you like. I like teaching children mathematics. Look, I've got cottage industry going on here. Somebody made me a t-shirt. It's one of my tutors. And you're going to be able to find my books on Amazon here pretty soon. I don't care. Let Bezos make some money. I don't give a shit. I mean, it's a vehicle for making money. But soon you'll be able to, and you won't be interested in them. They teach addition and subtraction and shit like that. You have no interest in that. But see, you might want to learn about addition because apparently most of the nation can't add well enough to fucking figure out an election, for fuck's sake. And then subtraction. So my first book, and I actually give this away free. If anybody wants it, just send me an email and I will send you Supremely Simple Subtraction for free. And then I wrote a Divinely Dandy Non-Difficult Division. And then there's a Curious Counters Compendium. But the idea is to get your children to the point. See, all right, let's back this shit up. They have us retarded. I think about, and they've been doing it slowly but surely, making it so that you stay longer and longer in the under the yoke or under the. When I was my son's age, back in my day, he is about to go. The oldest boy is about to turn 16. All right, I've been driving for a year and a half. I had summer jobs where I fucking labored my ass off for from early in the morning till late in the afternoon. Doing picking pineapples. That was a hell of a job, but it paid well, right? Because back in the day, that's part of the reason why they sold off all of our agriculture to other places. Because this is fucking, what is this, 1980 or something? This is a 79, 80, somewhere in there. How 16? Yeah, so 80. I was making like $4.50 an hour in the fields. That was crazy money, right? The average person was making like $2 something because that was right. I was making almost double minimum wage to go pick pine. Or I think, anyway, I was making more than minimum wage. All right. They didn't want to pay. That's the least they could pay you. But I had a car that I had bought myself with that. I helped my mother, grudgingly, by the way. Now I look back and I'm like, what a fucking jackass teenager I was. Fucking, she should have just popped me in the mouth a couple of times. But anyway, to help pay for my private education, where they didn't dumb me down as bad as everybody else, and gave me some tools and weapons on how to deal in this world. And now I realize, anyway, a lot of different things. But anyway, she took most of my money to pay for that. But I had more than enough pocket money. I had a car. Gas was cheap. I could drive around. I could go to go out on dates with my girlfriend, so that, just like everybody does in the old days. But I didn't have to ask mommy for money. I had my own money. I had earned it. All right. Same thing with my boy. He has a girlfriend, sort of long distance relationship type thing. I think they met online or something like that. Is a friend of a friend. They played games together and they played D&D. And long story short, he supposedly has a girlfriend. But he was able to buy her a Christmas present. He didn't ask. He said, "Dad, can I have some money so I can buy my girl?" And I'm like, "If you want to buy this woman a Christmas present, use your own funds, and then let her know that that you worked for this, whatever it is. I don't even know what he got her. Right? He put it in a box. He's like, I respect his privacy. He did show me a picture of her. She's very cute, but she's across the ocean and so on. So how much of a relationship is it? At the time, again, at his age, my girlfriend lived here. I could drive to her house. Anyway, long story short, where I was going with all of this is that when you understand how the brain works, and the brain works like this. When you're first come out of that chute, you can't even do anything more than make delta waves. And I'm not going to get into all the numbers and stuff because it bores you, I know. But it's a certain frequency. All right. So when this thing in your head, it only makes delta, right? Which is our sleep state. And yet the baby will be awake and crying and asking for milk, stuff like that. And its brain is only doing delta. And then over time, and we'll say we'll go till about maybe 2 years. And these are not hard and fast numbers at all. Okay. And then comes theta. And, oh, by the way, get some theta. Get some theta. Oh my God, get some theta. I've been talking about theta since it was 60 something cents. It's like over $2 now. 2.15 is the last time I looked at it. Yeah, you would have tripled your money in that amount of triple your money and a half in that amount of time. Just put $100 in, $200 in if you have no faith. If you would have put $100 or $200 in when I was talking about Bitcoin at $1, you would be a millionaire right now, multi-millionaire. All right. So anyway, theta, and then comes alpha. And then comes what we're in right now. And see, this is the thing. You have been trained with all of this. Everything that's in there is that you only function in this one thing. If you're thinking, if you're doing anything, if you're trying to solve a problem, you're in beta. You're engineering. You're doing this, right? Okay. Many other cultures, they go down here to get answers, right? And we consider this sleep state. This is like all right. But so this is from delta is 2. Theta is I'm going to go 3 to about 7 or so, and then 7 to about 12. And again, these are not hard and fast numbers. They can come in earlier. They can come later, right? Just because your child doesn't start making beta waves till they're 15 doesn't make them abnormal. Just means that this thing didn't develop. All right. They understand how to develop this thing and retard this thing and how to push the buttons, like I said, how to make it do dopamine and see, it's the same thing as rosemary. See, because now I'm not stressed trying to think about rosemary. I can say rosemary with no issue. Your endorphins, though. Anyway, you have 2, and serotonin and dopamine. There you go. See, so serotonin and dopamine. they know how to get you to excrete either one or both, or right, and then what they're doing is fucking with your brain chemistry and making you make associations. So they've got a bunch of people, and you know who they are, that have made all manner of negative associations with the orange bad man, or the bad orange man, or whatever it is. Right? They've got negative association hardwired in, chemically wired into them now. Right? And then you have others that, I mean, they do this with everybody. They do this, right, to give you authority and so forth. So then you have the other side of it, where they chemically hardwire when they see somebody like, let's go with a real evil one, like HRC. They see HRC and they see a sweet old grandmother that should have been president and should have done this and that. They don't see the baby raping child raper, right? Frazzle drip. Look it up. It's a real thing. Frazzle drip. Frazzle drip. I'm not even going to write it down. Oops, that might get me off, though. But we'll see. But I mean, go look it up. It's a thing. That wasn't a joke. All right. So they have, however, been conditioned and watched and so forth. So, when they see her, they're not reviled. They're not disgusted. They see grandma and it's Clinton, a Democrat, and right? See how it works? Right? They got you. They understood. All they had to get was this. They only had to get this. They didn't have to get everything. They just had to get this. And then they give you all manner of stuff that doesn't feed this. Sugar is... I have a student who's great. I just had a student the other day, and he admitted that he had I mean, we were having a crap class because he was just too crazy, and it's fine. I'm fine with it, right? Because he started yelling, I started yelling, right? And we're just having a good time being noisy and doing math. But I mean, he's normally pretty calm and so forth. And he admitted that, yeah, he had a couple of Snickers bars before he started. And it's a drug, it's sugar. And he's already ADD, and he's already got, I mean, this is an actual kid that they have labeled, and he deserves the labels to a point, right? I mean, they always fucking overdo it. But yes, he does have a hard time concentrating. Yes, he does have a short attention span. But he's fucking 9. So, I mean, come on, you can develop these things. And yes, he is dyslexic. He tends to... right? Nope, he often does that. And he often does, instead of that, he'll do that. And instead of doing that, he'll do that. Okay, that doesn't make him super special and in need of all manner of drugs and fuck. Anyway, he just needs a little concentration and somebody to sit down with him and work on it, right? Right now, he's the only kid in his class that knows all his multiplication tables. He knows, if I ask him what 7 and 5 is, he can tell you without thinking about it, right? What is 7 and 5? 12, not 13. What is 7 and 8? 15. Doesn't have to think about it anymore. Used to be before, he'd be fucking around on his fingers and stuff like that. Okay. See, it's trainable. But the idea being is that they understand that, yeah, throw some sugar on that brain, and all of a sudden his brain doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Same thing with you, just not to as a noticeable degree. And then there's other chemicals that are even like certain food colorings and so forth that will absolutely make it. Where you ever make just a fucking stupid decision, and right after you did it, and already the consequences happen and so forth, where you go, fuck, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Okay, probably because somebody had fucked with your brain chemistry a little bit. I'm not saying it's not your fault. I'm just saying that they put you in situations where, yeah, you might make stupid decisions. Okay, they don't love you. They don't love you so much that they want to protect you with a mask. They don't. They just don't. Get it out of your heads that they like you. They don't even like you. You are liked the way a farmer likes his chickens, and I'm talking about the kind of chickens that they use for fryers. Right? The farmer doesn't want his chickens sick, and if one of the chickens gets sick, he'll try to either take it out or make it better or whatever. You put some antibiotics in, something like that. Not because he loves that chicken, he's planning on eating that chicken because he doesn't want that chicken to make the other chicken sick. Right? Okay. In this case, let's say that we'll take it a step further. The farmer, not only does he not care if the chicken gets sick and makes the other chicken sick, because he considers he's got too many chickens. So if some of the chickens die off, he don't care. Get it? That's you. You're the chicken, right? And he tells the chickens, you're a chicken that can think. They tell the chickens that you're the smartest chicken ever. There's never been a chicken smarter than you. There's never been a chicken with all this technology. There's never been a chicken that could see shit at night. There's never been a chicken, right? There's never been a chicken that had control over their birth, right? Whether they could lay eggs or not. There's never been chickens like this ever in the history of the world. You're the first chickens ever. You're the best, smartest, greatest chickens ever. You just chickens. And they're going to eat you. And they're going to eat your kids. If they can. And see, this is the thing. They understand with us is that if they ate all the chickens, or if they even ate half the chickens, well, the other chickens might protest. So they only eat a very tiny portion of the chickens. So they put 7 billion of us on the planet. 7B, we'll just put B, and it's more than that, but we'll just go with 7. That's the surface population. There are others under the ground that are non-different than us, but they don't, anyway. And then there are others. I'm telling you this again. I'm going to tell you one more time. There are others that are not us. They exist. By now, let it seep into your consciousness slowly. That is, once you understand that to the core, and once you grok that, as they say, that's going to change your life. That's one of the most profound things, because that's another thing. You don't own any chickens. Ain't no ducks. Ain't no peacocks. Only chickens, and you are the smartest chickens. That's the lie they've been telling you for 2,000 years. Okay, I'm going to tell you, there's peacocks, there's ducks, there's geese, there's fucking turkeys, there's parrots, there's minor birds, there's all kind of shit out there. All right, not just chickens. Anyway, but they got 7 billion of these guys, and so then they take off a few 100,000. Can you do the math? You can't do the math. That's pretty obvious. Can't even fucking add. So, I mean, I got people still to this day telling me that they can't tell that there was a fucking, a bit of a steal, a bit of a, right? You can't, a bit of fraud. And see, fraud vitiates all actions. Understand that. Okay, so if you understand that it vitiates your agreements that you started off with, when you sign that little certificate with your BC on there and your name and the numbers and so forth, there's a number up here that you need. That's your number. And then there's a number down here. That's your case number. And then there's a couple other documents that you used. You had to get this document so you could get the SS document. And then you had to use this document and that document so you could get the DR document or a DL document. That's them selling your right to travel back to you. And then a few other documents, like I needed a securities license, I needed this, and this, and then I needed another thing that had some fingerprints card. And when I filled out that fingerprint card, I became an employee of the corporation. And I was involved in the financial end of it. I was involved in the financial business. The other guys that you decide, I have friends, and I have friends that have been prosecutors and so on for years. And I have, when I get into it, but anyway, and I have down clerks and so forth. And what are they on? That's the legal business. I was in the financial business. Anyway, and see, these guys think that these guys don't know what's going on. And actually we do. We did know about the bonding. We did know, and I did know you could do it, but I'm not going to lean my, anyway. We're not going there. So the point being here, if you can follow this stream of consciousness, is that these documents right here were created in fraud because you weren't old enough. You weren't old enough to sign any of those documents when they happened. It was all done for you, but you were never explained. You never gave you disclosure that you could get out of this, right? And all I'm saying is, yeah, there's a way to get out of that. It's not crazy talk. They don't want you out. But the idea being is that birth certificate, this is where it all went, right? This was fraud. And it vitiates all contracts, even the secret ones. But you got to tell them that. Okay, so the point being is that all of these guys, and for the most part, almost all, not all of them, but almost all 7 billion of these guys, because they have to keep records and because they want you to, right? They don't want you putting in your family Bible, you on it, right? And that's what your parents thought, and that's what the mother of my children thinks, and that's what many, right? That, well, you need that birth certificate to make it quote unquote official. No truer words are spoken. You're correct. It is official. But what you want to do is get rid of these contracts. And the way you get rid of the contract, the way to get out of the contract is in the contract itself. It was fraud. It was fraud. You didn't know. You didn't. You were. They created a trust for you. Did you want the trust? Okay. So it boils down to this. And see, you're confused. There's geography and there's political, right? Policy, the political thing. Your geography and your politics, yeah, it goes together, right? So, like say in the United States or in United States Corporation, they have this thing where if you were born in certain places where they consider it theirs, that automatically makes you a U.S. person. You don't want to be a U.S. person because of your geography. So, but you have the choice, you have the free will, and free will must be preserved, right? That's the whole, that is like That is one of the most basic premises. That is one of the most primary laws. That is one of the most basic things that your free will must be preserved. Free will means that you have the choice to say yes or no, right? Many of these people who are saying yes to certain adjuncts and so forth, to certain things, them things, yeah, it's their own free will. Nobody's forcing them. Nobody's holding them down. This is why it's so horrifying to me that there are children who are screaming and crying, trying to get away from that thing, and their parents hold them down. And then the child has, I know one woman, well, I don't know if she is anymore, but the last time I talked to her, she was practically fucking suicidal because she realized that her child, she held her child down. And then, yeah, the child had a horrifying reaction and 100% her fault. Never should have put that stuff in him. And then she did the research. And now she's like literally suicidal. Because, I mean, her own baby that she loved more than anything, that she birthed, and she did all the stuff when she, anyway. Choice. They try to trick you into making bad choices, right? You should know better than to put mercury in your children. You should know better than to put mercury in your children's mouths. My mother didn't know better because she believed in these authority figures. All right, that's what they want you to do. Right? I know people that are so fucking mind-washed, we won't get into the names and dates and so forth, that think because Trump has been censored, that somehow that means he has no credibility. I was just like, wait, back up? Because, well, he's like on one platform now. I mean, how much credibility did he have? Okay, so what you're saying is you're not smart enough to figure out that censoring off of Twitter and Facebook and other platforms and knocking down a whole platform just to get rid of one guy, you're cool with that. I mean, these are your countrymen. All right. But the point of the 7 billion here is that they're not eating they're not eating 3.5 billion chickens a year. They're eating, I don't know, 800,000 million, maybe sending 120,000 off world, maybe, possibly. That's crazy talk. I can't confirm any of that. I have no documentation. I have no anything to say, but it looks like that there are those that will round up their fellow humans and sell them to others for money, and they know that they might be tricked into thinking that they want engineers or genetic materials. No, they just want food. It's like me telling the chicken, come here, I want that, right? And then I cut the head off and they eat it, right? I have no issue with that. There's a chicken I just saw. I'm like, can I eat that chicken? And the guy's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, because that was a big fat, right? And it's kind of old and doesn't lay so much anymore, and it's a big chicken. And yeah, why not just eat it? Okay, that chicken thinks that it gets fed every day. It has an area, and the guy that has the chicken made sure that the mongoose can't get in there. Mongoose love chicken eggs. So mongoose proofed the area and gave it a house with it. There's got a chicken coop and so forth where it's nice and comfortable, right? Your little slave quarters and condos near the beach in Miami. House for chickens. Right? It's a really nice house for chickens. Look at those fixtures. Oh, that's lovely. Look at those amenities. But the idea being is it's a house for chickens. And see, they don't take all the chickens, like I said, so they only take a few of the chickens. And some of those chickens get et here. Some of them get et elsewhere, but they're good for the eating. So in the United States, let's go with just United States corporation area that they offer. Let's say there's 350 million. This number goes all over the place. I've seen it way higher. I've seen it lower. Let's just say 350 to make the numbers even. I've seen it as low as 325, 300, 347. Let's just say 350. Just right. That's not an accurate number. I'm just playing with numbers. 350 million people. All right. 65,000. All right. Oh, see, now I got to do the zeros just to make it clear. 350. Wait. 000. Right. Hundreds, thousands, millions. That's the other thing I'm working with that child. I'm finally getting to the point where he can name his numbers, right? And I can't do this in all languages. I found out I can do this in English, and I can do it a little bit in Spanish, but I can't do it in German, and I can't do it in Dutch, and I can't do it in Latin. Anyway, 350 million. All right, so let's say we just take, right? Get your calculator out. What percentage is that? All right, 60,000 out of 350 million. Okay, and that's just the black chicks. That's just the ones that like the dark meat, the dark-skinned women. There are others that like, and see, the total number is somewhere around this. That's not all of the United States, though. But I mean, 800,000 out of, and now see if we go, let's move this over here. Let's go over here, and let's see here, and I'm going to do that, and we'll say that. 7 of them. All right. So once you start getting there, I mean, 1 billion is 1,000 millions, right? And then you get into trillions, and we start talking about money and the stuff on this planet. But 1,000 millions, okay, 1 million is 1,000 thousands. This is short scale that we're talking about here. All right, so that means that there's 1,000 of these and these, and there's 1,000 of those and those, right? So there's 1 million of these and those. All right, you don't notice. Apparently, even when guys like me make noise, most people still don't notice. They don't notice that, oh, by the way, these people are missing. These children are missing. And how do they go missing? In our country, they literally were driving around vans, and people knew that there was vans going through neighborhoods. And it turns out there are officers that explained to you the case. And of course, that never got heard because it never made the mainstream media. But there were whistleblowers that came out and said, yeah, it was government agents. Can you imagine those men snatching kids out of neighborhoods? And they're so mind-fucked. So you got to feel bad for everybody. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. They're so mind-washed that they think, oh, we take these kids. I need these kids. Some of them knew that that was going on. But some of them was like, oh, we need these kids for experiments that's going to further humanity. That's one of the stories that they were told. They stick them in the MK Ultra programs and so forth. Some of them, I mean, anyway, they make all kinds of rationalizations for what the evil that they're doing. But again, those rationalizations and the ability to make those rationalizations so that they can be, because again, the quote-unquote elite, and they're not elite, these baby raping fucks are not elite. The guys that are at the top, they're not guarding the prisons, they're not driving the vans, they're not the police officers, none of them. They're not even politicians. They're not sitting in legislatures, right? They tell the guys in the legislatures what to do. They're not sitting in the police station. They tell the guys in the police station what to do. They're not, right? Okay, they're not sitting on Wall Street. They tell the people in Wall Street what to do, right? Suppress the price of this, right? Drive the price of that. Okay, we're going to drive the price down, and then a bunch of us are going to make money, and then you guys are going to push the price back up again. All right. Back in the 20s and 30s, they did that all the time, and that was just, they knew, right? That was, right? And they're still doing it. They made it illegal, but they're still doing it. Because right now I'm watching gold stocks. So, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but let's come back around to the beginning of this, where I said, right, there are penny stocks right now. Those are junior miners. They are looking for gold. There's one up in Montana. There is one up in Canada. Well, one. There's many in Canada and Montana and kind, but there's one in particular I like in Montana. There's a couple of silver mines in the North Panhandle of Idaho that have just been beat to shit, and they fucked with those miners and their families, right? Drive the price down at Christmas so they can't sell, and then the mines got to lay off, right? Fuck you, all you miners, fuck all you guys. They don't care about you. They don't give a fuck about you. Get it out of your heads that they care about you. I don't give a shit if it's a D or an R. They don't fucking care about you. Any more than they can, just as long as they can extract wealth from you. That's all they want. Anyway, so then there's a couple of them. And see, overall, you want Canada and the United States because other countries might have political unrest, and there's also the currency and so on. But companies now that have just been beat to shit, I mean, just beat to shit. Just look at their stock price and look at the charts. They've just been, right? Okay, blood's in the street, time to buy. And there has never been a time when gold and silver wasn't the go-to. Well, but now there's cryptocurrency. I don't care. Cryptocurrency market, if you take a look at how big the cryptocurrency market is compared to all the other markets, cryptocurrency, I mean, fucking Apple computer is bigger than the cryptocurrency market. Well, for Bitcoin or whatever. So what you want to do is, what you're seeing is, as we speak, is the dollar free falling, or excuse me, yes, the dollar free falling against Bitcoin. Used to be that you could get a Bitcoin for 2,700 of those things. Now you need, I don't know what it is again. Last time we did this video, it was 38. Did I tell you it was going to correct? And why, I didn't know when, and I certainly am no guru there, but I told you 15% correction is about $6,000. It went down, what, $7,000? I hope you bought. I hope you bought down there because it's coming right back to where it was. And you can make $7,000 a coin. So if you had $30,000 to buy a Bitcoin or $28,000 to buy one Bitcoin, you bought that one Bitcoin, and now you can turn around and sell that one Bitcoin for substantially more than $28,000 because it was just a correction. Like I said, it was that check, right? I know I drew this picture for you. It basically just did that and that, right? So I try to get here. But then again, like I said, The bottom, the idea is not buy bottom, sell top. The idea is if you got it here, like, okay, you didn't think it was going to keep going, but I mean, that was such a frost crash, you couldn't miss it. But it went down here like that. And then if you were smart enough to get it down there, great. And if you weren't, fine. Let's say you got it over here. Let's say you got it over here. Let's get it over here. But it's already back up there, right? The name of the game is not buy bottom, sell top. You'll make yourself crazy and you'll kill yourself in that game. The name of the game is this, right? Buy there, sell there. If you try to buy there and sell there every time, you're going to be unhappy. You could have bought there and bought there on this squiggly line chart that I'm doing. All right, so wait, see? Time. This is why astrology is so important, because almost every fucking graph you look at, this axis, the x-axis is going to be time. What are we measuring from? It's 2021 from since when? And then over here is going to be, in this case, it's price of shares. Right? Always labeled diaxes. So, like I said, and there's stocks where I can show you that that's exactly what it looks like, right? So if you bought here and you sold there, bad. But if you bought here and you sold there or there, good. And even though this is just a little bit, you still have a positive trade. You'd have to be a total dumbass. Why didn't you sell on the way down over here anyway? But anyway, the point being is buy low, sell high, not buy bottom, sell top. And I know so many people that think it means buy bottom, sell top. It doesn't. I know lots and lots of traders. They just make 10% gains, 5% gains, but they do it every single day on large sums of money, right? Just little gains, little gains, right? See, and it's like my son. It's great. He had a trade where he made $24, but he was super pleased with himself because he's only got a few $100 in his brokerage account. But he was super pleased with himself because he made $24. And how did he make? Because normally he has to go fucking push a lawnmower, or still doesn't 100% know how to use a weed whacker. But he can, but he can't. I mean, like, he's not precision with it. But the idea being is that that's fucking labor, right? You got to sweat and be outside and so forth. Or you can go click, click, right? And those two clicks are spaced apart by time. And he figured out, wow, wait a minute, I just made $24. I'm like, yeah. If you would have put 10 times the money in, you would have made $240, right? If you would have put 100 times more money in, you start seeing the multiples, right? But I mean, 10 times the money, is totally doable. That's not a huge amount. 100 times the money, now it's starting to get to be a lot of money, right? I mean, more than he's able to easily. 1,000 times the money, right? But see, I take him around people that have billions. I take him around people that have hundreds of millions. So he sees it, yeah, entirely possible. It's all here. There's lots of people I know that can't conceive of the millions and billions. But I have a friend, and if you talk to him, and I'll just get myself in trouble, but and him and his wife, they're folks. They're just regular folks. They get news like you do. If they get the wrong news, they're just, right? They try to be more informed, and they do have better sources because they have money. But at the same time, they're just folks. He just figured out how to shovel money out of the market into his own pocket. Okay. So, he trades and plays with way more zeros than the average person plays with, like way more zeros than I play with, for damn sure. And he does it every day. All right. The idea is that you got to get to the point. We're in a capitalist society. You have to understand capital, right? The idea is that if the people in Amazon and FedEx and UPS and so forth would have bought shares in their company with their paychecks from the very first day they worked in the company, they'd be probably sitting pretty now, especially Amazon, but UPS also. But then understand, the CEOs of those companies make more money than all the drivers combined. Think about it, right? I mean, who made UPS? Is the drivers and deliverymen, but you take a look at the salary of all the drivers, all of them, compared to one guy in the, right? Okay, this should be your clue that's not how the capitalism is supposed to work. But since that's how it's working, then you got to be smarter than them, and you got to take a piece of the capital, right? Same thing, Tesla stock. The people that first started working off in Tesla stock, they were getting paid in shares. Those guys are pretty happy. And Tesla is complete nonsense. And this is the thing. If you take a look at the drops that I just put here, it won't be long before those drops contain the information that I want. I can give a shit about some of the stuff that's in there. And although it is mind-blowing stuff, if you go click that link that I just put up there and start reading. Like I said, be discerning, though, because there's too much information there for you to figure. And so there are groups that are, okay, you guys take this much and you take that. But I mean, even there, just like the flight logs. from certain person to certain island. That's like 73 pages. Little black book from certain person who didn't, right? Pages and pages and pages. It takes a long time to get through that. And then a lot of those, names of CEOs that fired or quit. Now you can start doing a who's, you can see, and then you start like Amazing Polly. Love Amazing Polly, because she'll go find some names, and then she'll go see the names, and then she'll go search those names, and then she'll go see what companies they're on, and then she'll go search the companies, and then and you'll start seeing the tangled web that they have woven to make themselves money and to control these people, you and me. A couple of pieces for good cheer for those of you that I know there are some of you that are trying to keep faith, but you want to, but you want to keep a stiff upper lip, but you're right because you see the media and you see how they impeach. All right, would they impeach him if they won? Would they impeach him if they weren't worried? Would they do all? What you're seeing is full panic mode in DC. Full panic mode in DC. These people don't know what to do with themselves. They are screwed. Now, they also ran a cover story. It was great. They already had everything. They already had everything on the lap. But now they can say, remember when they went into the Temple of Liberty, the capital of the country, and there was the crazy white supremacist Trump supporters that were all listening to Trump, and there was this other thing going on, but Trump's speech hasn't even ended. And unless they were able to teleport, it's a 40-minute walk from where Trump was giving his speech to the Capitol. You don't think that was planned? And now all your idiot friends that are repeating the bullshit that they see, now we're starting to see it. You can say hearsay all you want that it was white supremacists, that it was Trump supporters. Oh, wait a minute. This guy has been captured and charged, BLM. This guy has been captured and charged, Antifa. This guy has been captured and charged, and now we know their names, we know who they are, they know who they're affiliated with, and it's coming out one after another. Yeah, those were quote-unquote agitators. That was all part of the plan. Along with those agitators were guys that ran in there and stole some laptops. I believe they got 8 of them. They got Pelosi's. They got, right? Biden had the boot. Where is Pelosi? So just be happy. It's all happening. And now they can say, well, where'd you get all this information? Well, we got it off the laptops that we took. We already had the information, but we didn't want the plebes knowing that they went right by. They didn't even stop, come say hi. But they didn't want the plebes knowing that, yeah, they any data, anything that's on this computer, right? Anything that's on, especially now, but anything that's on this drive right here, 2 terabytes, they already have it if they want it. I'm pretty sure they're not clogging up their databases with bullshit from me. But I mean, if I was in the Senate or in the House, they would have everything on my computer. And if I was smart, I would have gotten to the point. See, and that's why they have all those protocols for the Secretary of State, for various people that are in the cabinets and so forth, so that their information doesn't get onto a server in China or Russia or fucking Vietnam or any other country that may or may not be pals with us, Israel, African nations, etc. Okay, but the bottom line is they have all the fucking data. They have it all. All right, but now they have a great cover story that says, oh, how do we get the data? Oh, we got it by taking their laptops. What's on the laptops? You'll see. It's the same thing. Like go look here, all those incriminating things. What was Lynn Wood talking about? And see, Lynn Wood, myself, and a bunch of others understand the concept that you have to throw in some crazy, right? I wouldn't take advice from me. Look at me. I mean, come on. No. Same thing with him. You have to make it so that there's plausible deniability, and so that you have to make it so that, yeah, I said that, but I also said this, right? So you got to be able, and now it's up to you and I to discern what's true and what's not true. Lynn gave you some pretty good clues as to, yeah, this is true, and then he also threw some bullshit in with it. The bullshit is to be expected and needed. And I don't know, did he believe it? Did he know he was throwing bullshit in there? Or did he believe that the bullshit was true or what? But anyway, like I said, and did I tell you Parler was going down? Yes, Parler went down. It's going to stay down for a while. But like I said, I hope you went and screenshotted some of his shit, because, right, the chances that it comes back, right? I'm not going to get into that. But occasionally I'm a little ahead of my time. Let's just put it that way. But there's times when you don't want to be ahead of your time. Like, as many people have figured out, waking up in, say, 2014, yeah, that was pretty lonely, wasn't it? Waking up right after 9/11, yeah, that was no fun because nobody else was awake. And then when you try to tell people that they're sleeping, or that you try to tell people that you've woken up and maybe things aren't the way you seem, and maybe that was controlled demolition, and maybe this and that, they all call you crazy. So what fun is that? But now what's getting fun is more and more people are waking up. This person that I knew that was a total freaking HRC supporter and has pictures, or had pictures of herself with that woman, because again, she sees that woman, she doesn't see an evil, she sees grandma that could have helped us with healthcare, and that had to suffer through her terrible husband who was cheating on her and stuff. Because that's another thing. Their relationships are not like our relationships. They're convenience relationships for political power and money. They can put their dicks and pussies aside. Doesn't mean they don't like dick and pussy. It just means it doesn't have to be that dick and pussy, right? Just because they're married to it. Anyway, the point being is that she has completely and totally gone, oh my God, these people are evil. I'm like, whoa, what? What? Repeat? What did you say? How did you come to this conclusion? And see, she woke up. She just started. She goes, it wasn't any one thing. It was a lot of little things where it just went. And then she took a look at some of Julian Assange's stuff. And then she had some links to the vault. And then, once again, she didn't watch TV and wake up. She started doing her own reading. And see, this is the thing. If you think up until now, don't worry, they're going to wake them up using the TV. But up until now, that you would never wake up watching media, right? And watch this too. Just watch your verbiage and your language. Does that mean moral? Does that mean more moral? When I put the A there? Okay, so awake. You don't want to be awake. You want to be wake. You want to be woke. You want to be woken. You want to waken, but you don't want to be awake. Get rid of that. Oh, my boy's in here, but he could have told you. Okay, so this is a good story because this is what they did to us with the English. Okay, they're doing it to the Chinese with Chinese right now. But his Chinese teacher is from Taiwan. And this is where, okay, and this is the other thing. Get used to it. We're going to war, right? They always take us to war. We're going to war. There's no way out of this war. We're going to war. And there's nobody that doesn't want this war. And the war is going to be centered between the eagle and the bear and the Chinese, the lion, right? You got to know your metaphors. But the lion's dominion, the lion wants the whole thing. The lion wants to be king of the whole jungle. And the jungle, and the book of the Jungle Book, and the law of the jungle is not handy. Oh, what's over there? When these New World Order fucks talk about the law of the jungle, they're talking about this book right here. Just so you know, it's not a joke. Anyway, so these guys, the lion is gotten pretty potent, and the lion has read Sun Tzu, and the lion understood that the eagle and the bear, you would think that the lion would be easily able to take down the eagle, but damn it, they can't. The eagle had become too strong, had too many had become too much stuff. And so they used subversion. They brought up judges and clergy and businessmen and politicians and all of that, and took all of our espionage when it came not just to political secrets, but also to technology and so forth, and especially weapons and so on. But I mean, all kind of technology, and brought it back to, all right. So there's going to be war. But it's not going to be war on their terms. It's going to be war on our terms over there. But just expect there's going to be war. Okay, I'm just prepared for that. Okay, and it's not going to be the same kind like we've had before in the Middle East. You'll notice this war, right? When we were fighting with Afghanistan and Iran and so on, or excuse me, Iraq and Syria and so on, we weren't prepared. Or we weren't affected, let's put it that way. The average person, you go to the store saying, okay, meantime, World War I, World War II, yeah. Back home, everybody knew, especially World War II, that things changed. Okay, when we do the thing with China, you're going to notice. I mean, it's not going to be the kind of thing where you armchair it and so forth. You're going to absolutely notice, because they're going to put up a bit of a fight. This isn't going to be a walk. This is going to be a cakewalk, and it's going to take some resources to get this thing done. And this is what they always do. They always take us to war when things, right? The economy's collapsing, the thing, right? Okay, the whole Rona thing and all of that, that was all part of the plan to hit us economically, to make you dependent, to make you, we'll just leave it at that, dependent. Okay, so understand the crowns, right? The 3 crowns. All right, the first crown, and they took down that crown. And how fucked up are we when you couldn't tell? There was all kind of rumors that the Pope got arrested. Did he get arrested? Did he not get arrested? It seems to me that something as important as the Pope getting arrested, you should be able to verify that one way or the other within minutes. That's how fucked up the news is now. Couldn't tell one way or the other. Anyway, the first temple has been neutralized. That's not 100% true, but the first, yeah, they shut the power down in Italy. The guys went in, and we'll just call them the guys, went in. What guys? Who's guys? And yeah, some changes have been made. Okay, second temple. The other guys over there in London, not the city, not the British, the London, the city of London, the city within the city, those guys, the Temple of London, the one where the Queen has to ask permission to enter. Yeah, that temple, that's the second temple, the second crown, right? DC is the third crown. All right, that temple was also, okay, so of course, the first temple, Italy, and the second temple, Britain, and that's the way you look at it, right? Because you hear, oh, the British betrayed us. Oh, they're aren't in their intelligence. But guess what? Whistleblowers from Italy and whistleblowers from Britain both blew the whistle on the crown. And the two, Italy and Britain, were fighting with DC because they lost control of DC because the commander-in-chief of the military and special forces and all of that intelligence fell into the hands of the alliance via this guy that they absolutely positively vetted named Donald Trump. All right. The Trumpinator, the Trumpster, the bad orange man, and he a bad man. I swear to fucking God, you have no idea. He bad. He really bad. I give him credit. I give him credit. He and that whole alliance are putting together a plan, or bringing the culmination of a plan that's been in place for many, many moons. Not much more than 5 years, but 5 years for sure with him and part of it. We're looking at a 50-year thing where the communist purge is coming. And this happens in more than, and it all happens at once. And I changed the date, but anyway, we're looking at April, probably March, right around there, right? The beginning of the year, and what you consider spring. But March 21st is their end of the year. The first day is the 22nd, 322, right? That reminds you of the fact that this right here, that's also Genesis 322. He has become like us, man has become like us. Go look it up. There's many, right? That's the thing. It's not just one thing, it's multiple things. There's at least 3 things that it is. So 322, that's like everybody knows about the Masons, and that's some kind of number, and then maybe they've seen Skull and Bones with the 322 there. But 322, March 22nd, is the first day of the year. Little tip from your uncle there. All right, so shortly after that is, within about a month after that, many things are going to happen in that year. So that will be 322-2021, and then it's going to be 4, like I said before. I can't get it exactly right, but it's going to be 24, 25, 26, somewhere in there and if you do the math, the best one is 24, but it doesn't work out. 424-2221, or it could be 424-25-221, or it could be the 26. I don't know. I'm not that good at it. But I can tell you that around here, and I'll put a link if you want. Oh, I can do that. I can do that right now. Hold on. Holy cow. Suddenly people were talking. Oh, yeah. And by the way, these are, if you look closely, these are the pinhole glasses. I met this woman at the Whole Life Expo in, I think it was 1995. Interesting woman to talk to. She was old at that time, and she did all kind of iridology and the pinhole glasses and improving people's visions. And sure enough, the Society of Optometrists came down on her. Anyway, we had a booth very close to each other. I can't remember if we were across from each other or next to each other. It's been a long time. I was doing math. She was doing pinhole glasses. And we were in the same, and so, there's down times, and there's the beginning before the thing starts, and at the end of it. And anyway, you have time to just talk and so forth. And we went to, what was it, Jerry's Deli with the newspaper with the 5 bajillion choices. And anyway, And we just talked, and I made friends with this woman. I lost track of her because this is the 90s, and we didn't have email and stuff that'd be really easy to get in touch with. But she taught me a lot. And see, 1 hour with a master, right? She knew, right? Anyway. Life good. The deep state didn't win. Are you out of your mind? Anyway, would you like to bet? Who is it? Tara, let's bet. Would you like to bet? I have a $10,000 bet out there. I have a $1,000 bet. I have a couple of $300 bets. I have a couple of $100 bets. I have some $10 bets. And the biggest bets I have are $1 bets. Anyway, and you'd understand that. But it's $1. But the deep state didn't win anything. Okay, sure. Beyond majestic and above majestic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go catch the replay. This was supposed to be short, but you know me, I can't shut my mouth. So, all right. But anyway, the bottom line is that you're going to see some excellent theatrics coming up here because, and see, look, I'm getting back around to it. Look, if you watch these videos, they start making more sense. They're more cohesive than they used to be. But the idea being is that the only way they've been programmed with this thing, they're going to be deprogrammed with this thing. They're going to be wakened with this thing, right? Not awakened, wakened, right? Because you don't want to be awake. You just want to wake. So understand that was on purpose. And I got back around to the Chinese thing. I got sidetracked, but he has found that his Chinese teacher is teaching him traditional or the old way of doing things. The Chinese CCP is come up with a simplified language and simplified lettering and so forth, but actually they've made it more complicated and they're fucking with their people. Says before, it used to be 3 words to say I am man. Now it's 6 words to say I am man. The Romans had it down to 2 words, vir sum, I man, right? Or man am is basically what that boils down to, but that's not a direct translation. But this is what you have to do. You have to inform people of this. And don't speak their language. The languages are dead. Don't get all fancy trying to speak Latin in your letters and so forth. You speak English. Use English to the best of your ability. Learn this right here. Get one. And then you got to figure out, I don't have any. Oh, well, I got this one over here. Do I have this one? Here's one that you really want. These are hard to come by now, actually. Really. But anyway, this one. Just happened to be sitting on top of it. You need to have law books. And this is just a skin. I mean, yeah, I got other law dictionaries, but you got to know what the words mean, and you got to understand the grammar fair and the word fair. And then you have to understand that you're not the first person that figured this shit out. I'm not the first person either. Writing a letter like this, you don't need to put their codes in it. You don't need to put their forms in it. You don't need to put the treaties in it. You may want to attach just so that they can reference, but in the document itself, none of that needs to be there. Right? You don't have to put like in. Hold the phone. I have one child who's actually going to be in trouble if I don't get a book report on this today. But see, this is the other thing. Young boy, actually both boys, have been reading Sun Tzu since they were 10. So they recognize what's going on. So let's just say that before I go run over there and see if I can find it, because it's going to be in his mess of a room, and God knows if I can see it. But who makes the last move in chess? Are there cards played after the trump card? All right, the last mover. There's not going to be much action between now and... There's that number again. Oh, let's see here. Oh, let's see the 5. Let's see here. Okay, we'll take all this stuff out. Let's write it backwards. Let's see here. So there's January. Do I want to put the O here? I don't need it. But there's January 2020, 21. All right. So here's 1, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 1. Oh, look, it's the same it's a palindrome of numbers. Anyhow, don't put it all on that day. They're not running on the same. The sky clock they run on the sky clock, and you guys don't run on the sky clock. You run on this calendar that they gave you, and sky clock rules. Calendar does not rule. That's why astrology, like I said, that one axis on almost every chart is time. Therefore, you should know time. Therefore, having to know what time is important. And having to understand that the sky tells you what time it is and tells you when the season is, and right when the things happen in the sky, that's when you know what's going on. When the sun is not in the sky, you know it's night. When the sun is in the sky, you know it's daytime. When the sun sets over there, you know it's spring. When the sun sets over there, you know it's fall. If you know. Anyway, the bottom line is sky clock, very important. But the point I was making before I got here is that you need to get to the point where you use very, very few words. Right? In fact, I'm doing Duolingo. I'm awesome on Duolingo, by the way. But doing the Latin, a lot of times if I'm completely clueless in Latin, I've taken a couple of years of Latin, and I'm surprised at how shit I am at Latin. But anyway, because I am shit at Latin. I'm great at Spanish. I'm pretty good at German. I'm getting a little better at Netherlands. Ick. I love it. But the idea being is that your Chinese language is being fucked the same way they fucked the English language. And they're adding more words and so on. But let me show you how you need this book and you need to read it, but this is not how to do it. Hold on a second. I will be right back. Oops. I'll just put that over there. It shouldn't take too long. Look at that, instantaneous. Walk right over to it. I'm getting a book report on this today. You should make your children make you a book report on this book right here. This book is available in PDF form. I bought the hard copy because otherwise this guy doesn't get paid. This guy should get paid. He's giving you a piece of his mind. Right? And that's what they've done. They've made it so that these guys can't make any money informing you. All right, so let me just read you the table of contents. This is required reading. So is Chain to the Sky. Okay, that's the foreword. I don't want the foreword. I just want the. All right, so what do we got? We got foreword, Fruit from a Poisonous Tree, the introduction, citizenship expatriation. That's all you're doing. Ain't nothing illegal about that. There's nothing scary. There's nothing, you poor slaves that are so afraid of your government and so forth, to the point where you're wearing a mask even though you don't need it. Anyway, but citizenship expatriation, that's what you're basically doing. That's step one. Letting them know that you're a living person, that you don't want to be part of United States corporation, and that you don't want to be part of the jurisdiction, state of, county of, and you don't want to be subject to the kangaroo courts that try to come in there and tell you how to do family and family support and so forth. Or child support and custody and so on. Really? A third party is going to tell you what's best for you. Anyway, magicians, that's a good chapter. Let's see here. Collection agency, the Federal Reserve Incorporated. Hugely important word, right? Because they incorporate you. You don't need incorporation. You're already here. But you don't know that. Let's see here. Money. Above the law. No such thing. There is a person that gave us the law, and I'll use the term person, but God Almighty. Your rights come from God Almighty. The laws come from God Almighty. Other than that, we have statutes. The swindle, house for free. They're supposed to give you a place to live. How to rob a really big bank. A loyal title. War powers, another perspective, and then the epilogue. Okay, did this person do it 100% right? No, but fucking A, they're on the path. They can tell you. All right, because again, I did everything that this person did in this super long letter that let them know that everything, right? Okay, it takes like this much room. His paperwork is like that many pages. Nah, you got to be shorter than that. And again, you don't need to tell them they wrote the laws. Why do you need to tell them their laws? Right? Now, what they need to do and they may come quiz you or whatever. I don't know. I've never had them come visit yet. But the idea is that you should know what's there. You should know what's in those peace treaties. You shouldn't be able to say what's in Article 6 of the Constitution, or Chapter 1, Article 6. You should be able to speak your rights. First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, etc. Should know what it means when you say constitutional rights. Doesn't mean what the average plebe thinks it means, because you're not party to the contract. They are. They have written and sworn the oaths. They have the contracts. Those contracts were designed to keep our inalienable rights from being infringed upon. Well, as you see, the situation that we're in is anything but. So we have a guy that seems to be trying to and see, okay, so you're going to be given the choice on, do you want this or do you want that? Either one's fine. Just choose the right-hand path when you get a chance. But do you want to be United States Corporation? There are benefits. Many people want the benefits of the United States Corporation. They want their Social Security, and they want their, right? They want to be the lion in the zoo. Lion in the zoo doesn't have to worry about even cleaning up its own shit, right? Lion in the zoo doesn't have to worry about where its next meal is coming for. Lion doesn't have to worry about getting rained on. They don't want to be the lion on the Sahara that has to go chase down its own food and shit where it wants and then if it rains, they get wet. Right? They don't want that. All right. I don't want to be the one in the zoo. You don't want to be the one in the plains? I want to be the one in the plains. I want to be the one that gets to hunt my own food. I want to be the one that gets to sit under a tree when it's raining. If not, I want to be the one that, screws around whatever I want, right? See some pretty lions running around, I'm after that lion. Right? You don't get to tell me, and I don't get to sit in my cage by myself, and then I have to breed with this one particular lion that lioness that you chose for me, so we can make strong, healthy lions. No, I'll pick my own damn lion, thank you. But see, some people, they want that. They want to be told when to put a mask on, what time to wake up, when they're going to be, they know when they got to wake up, they know where they got to be from 9 to 5, they know how much they're going to get on Friday, then they're going to take some of that, and they're going to, because they're good at budgeting, and they're going to spend so much on alcohol and get smashed, and then they're going to nurse their hangover on Saturday morning, and then maybe they're going to go to church on Sunday, but probably night. That's totally out of vogue. Fuck. I mean, besides, this book's out of date, and who wants to read it anyway? And those Christians are silly, and all they do is tell you what to do. I'll have an abortion if I fucking want one. And then Monday morning, you get up again at 9 and repeat the process, and you do that for about 40 or 50 years, and then supposedly you have a few years off, and then you die. Okay. And there's plenty of you that are cool with that. And not only that, your parents and well-meaning individuals, I don't know what it is to do with my Bible. But anyway, right here, it's hiding under all this. But, this is why. If you're going to learn this book, and if you're new to the story, maybe you need to go on Sundays and Wednesdays, too, for Bible study and start reading what's in the book. And then maybe you should be studying this thing with somebody that knows more than just the literal story. There's multiple ciphers for this book. But they keep that out of you. And so they give you only a little bit of here. They've got you stuck in beta. You don't do alpha and theta, and a lot of the stuff here is very clearly alpha and theta deriven. That the people that were there were in what we call trance states. They weren't in this beta state. Anyhow, they've got you. They've got you, and you need to free it up for yourself. And the way you free it up is, this is my favorite, because almost all my documents, I use this pen. It's purple. Again, I can make an original document. They can copy documents. But so I can make the original document. I can put right? I don't worry about that. People say, oh, keep the originals. I'll make another fucking original if I need to. I'll just rewrite this in my own hand and make another original if I need to. Right? They can't do that. They can copy this, but they can't copy this. Okay, so, and you need to know how to be able to copy. All right. So, that's the idea. It just looks that way in the news. That's what they're doing. They're making it look like they've won when they absolutely haven't won, because fight, deny, and defend until the end. And there's a lot of people that are going to be upset and offended about what happens this month, and the month after that, and the month after that. But like I said, give it about 90 days, 120 days, things are going to be big changes. And then there's big, big, big changes. There's so many big changes coming. Right? Hang out. It's going to be fun. Did I cover everything I wanted to cover? When I watch this video again, I'll probably see what I left out. And I will try and make one this weekend. But like I said, I got funerals and friends that need help moving and so I got a little free time right now, so I decided to do this. I should be working on doing some other things myself, and I got more of these to write, by the way. Like I said, I'm going to write a couple more, and on the 28th, that is. See, and I put my numbers on there so you can go search when that thing was delivered. But that'll be 30 days, and then I give them another one, right? And then I give them another one, so that they cannot say that they were not given ample opportunity to reply, and that I was giving them notice. And you'll notice, it says notice, right? Okay, and then what you want is you want notice. The next documents I'm going to have is the notice is going to be handwritten, and it's going to be in red. Your fee schedule should be in red. You should have multicolor pens that you use when you're writing. Is this good? Yeah, this is good. Is there anything on here I don't want you to see? Nah, not good. All right, so again, you could screenshot some of this stuff and just go look at all this stuff. Like, go look that up right there. But anyway, notice, blah, blah, blah. Super short sentences, not books, not fucking paragraphs and chapters, just super short sentences. Notice, I'm a living man. Notice, I'm a living being. Notice, I'm a celestial being. Notice, I'm flesh and blood, whatever, something like that. Put in your own words. Don't cut and paste, because that's the other thing. If you don't think, just like teachers do, when they can cut and paste out of your document, put it into a thing and see who your guru is and see where you cut and pasted that shit from, you're fooling yourself. So make up your own damn sentences, right? And that's how they'll also learn how to trap you. They also know how to trap you because they've trapped other people that came before you. I said, what they're doing is they're going to give you a choice. And then once you make the choice, they're going to try and get you back over here. They're going to try and get you back under the whore of Babylon. Trump is giving you the opportunity to get out from under the whore easily. Get your fucking paperwork in. All right. Then the next notice. Notice, I'm not a U.S. person. I'm a living man or woman born. Okay. Notice, Christ Jesus. That's it. I got one Christ. That's it. I don't take any of the other Christs. I take Christ Jesus. That's it. I bow before no other man. Your claim on my soul is bullshit, and I don't acknowledge it. My soul is already been promised. Right? I'm a child of God. You don't get to be my offer. You're not chattel pride. Those trusts and all that other stuff, that was done without my consent, and you know it. That was done in fraud, and you know it. You did it without disclosure. You did it without preserving my free will. You did it without preserving my free choice. And you've got to, first off, I'm going to hold you liable to it, but you're not afraid of me. I know they're not afraid of me. What you're afraid of is the bigger picture. And you know that fundamental laws, when you break fundamental laws, and now I have told you that you're breaking fundamental laws, and you can no longer pretend that I'm consenting and that you have my tacit approval. You do not have my approval. You do not have my consent. Here it is in writing. Here are your notices. This isn't up for debate. This isn't fucking up for adjudication at some judge or president or whatever. I am noticing you that I'm a man. You can decide whatever the fuck you want after that, but I'm a man. I'm noticing you that this is a living, breathing flesh and blood individual that is alive, and therefore a man, not a person, not a U.S. person, not a U.S. citizen. And again, citizen is the choice, and I make the choice not to be a U.S. person or a U.S. citizen, a chattel property, a black or a white. I choose to be a living man whose Lord and Savior is named Christ Jesus. Nobody comes in between me and that. Not you, Mr. Popey man that rapes children. None of you fucks. Right? Now, you put that in writing, and you notice them of the fact. Okay, now what? Well, now I'm going to need some documents that reflect the fact. I'm going to need a passport so I can travel, because I have right to travel on this planet. Hi, I'm going to need a couple of documents from you because you have all these offers, these officers, these police officers, these policy enforcers, these lawmen, nothing could be further from the truth, that want to see a document, a piece of plastic right? They want to see my papers. So you better give me some fucking papers so that I don't get in trouble with these guys because they're your fucking guys. They're not my guys. I just pay for it. Anyway, they don't even pay for that. Right? You pay anyway. Oh my God! Just keep going. Where the death. We'll stop. Just stop. Let me calm down. Because it's just so fucking ridiculous. It's just painful. And I was going along with it my whole life. Right? No more. It's done. That part's done. Okay, and this is what you're doing. You're noticing in them that it is done. And you're not doing it with the UCC, and you're not doing it with the Talmud, and you're not doing, okay. You may reference the Bible there, but again, and that's why you just got to reference. When I reference 2017, Exodus 2017, what's that? Don't lie. Don't bear false witness. And what, by the way, what was the penalty for bearing false witness against your neighbor? Yeah, that was the penalty. There's not a whole lot of them. Kidnapping, that's another one, right? Murder, that's another one. Rape another man's wife, that's another one, right? Have sex with another man's wife and she was consenting, but she was another man's wife. Well, that's another one, right? Or husband, too, also. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to cover here? Yeah, subject. You don't want to be a subject. You want to be your own doggy. That's all it is. You're telling them, hey, I'm my own dog. I can take care of myself. It's okay. Right? Now, I would like some of the stuff that I should inherit. Don't throw away your... This is the other thing that these patrons have done, is to throw away all your Social Security number. No. Did you put money in there? Well, then get the money back out. Did you... Whatever it is, there is... Did you claim your estate? Do you understand that the fruit of your labors and the labors of your parents and their parents' parents are there is benefit there? And that certainly there is way more, because we are a prosperous nation, that when all of these guys get together, there is excess of labor and benefit there. And what do? They suck up all that excess, and you live paycheck to paycheck. But obviously, Jeff Bezos isn't living paycheck to paycheck. I don't even know the name of the CEO of FedEx or UPS. I bet you can find him on that list that I gave you, though. Anyway. But those guys, again, what are they doing? They're living off the fruit of the excess labor of all these other guys. Okay, what did Dale Carnegie say? Rather have 1% of 100 men's labors than 100% of one man's labors. So these guys are getting, 0.1% of millions of people's labors. Turns out to be quite a bit of money. All right, so what you want to do is claim the part that your mother, your father, your sisters, or not sisters and brothers, but your mother, your father, and their grandparents and so forth, and their parents and so forth. It gets to be a pretty big thing going back. You're claiming all of that inheritance. And it turns out it's more than $1. Okay, but you don't know how. And like I said, they put gold aside for you. Don't know how to claim it. I don't know how to claim it either, by the way. I'm not like saying like, oh, I know how and you don't know. I've seen it, and I've seen numerous documents, and I've heard conversations, and I've listened to podcasts, and I've seen other stuff talking about it, and so, but I have no idea how to actually claim it. But I have gotten the idea that it is in fact there, and that this isn't just another tall tale. That's the dead man's chest is an actual thing. They put money aside for each and every one of us. They didn't tell us that they did. They didn't tell me about my bonds. I found out about my bonds, right? And I can show you. I can't because it's on this. I'd have to anyway. But I can show you. I went and found at Treasury Direct Retail Service at Treasury Securities Retail, or whatever the fuck it is. Wait, let me read it. But you should have an account, and I set up an account. I'm saying I had some friends that they didn't do anything else. They just tried to set up their account. Oh, well, here's this. All right, we'll start with that in a second. We'll do this before I get sidetracked again, and then I'm going to quit. What's that? Oh, that's me being a dumbass, giving them usufructing my car. That's the title to my car. So that one, this one. Are these the documents? Are these the documents I'm looking for? These are not the documents I'm looking for. All right, hold on. Oh, because I put them in the other one. They need to be in a green folder instead of this folder. This folder, there you go. All right. I bought them all over here for show and tell. All right, so. Yeah, here we go. These guys. You need to have a customer number, right? You're going to have a customer number and this little barcode and stuff, and that is Treasury Retail Services. Okay, you need to have an account with these. Treasury Retail Security Services. And see, Treasury, Bureau of the Fiscal Service is what their thing says, and it's the scale and the key. Let's see here. So what I was doing is making claims for lost, stolen. No, I'm making claims for secreted bonds that they don't want to give me. And then they will give you one of these. Once you get through it. Not that. Not that. So see, like all this, like I said, all this, and they told me, oh, by the way, since I already gave them 2 seals, I don't need to give them a 3rd seal. Interesting. So in other words, my signature is on file now. They know that it's a living person. There you go. Here, this is the page I'm looking for. You will eventually get one of these. Yeah, we'll just cover that part, and we'll cover some of that so you can't have all of it. But anyway, they'll give you a customer number and a case number. And right? And once you get this sheet of paper, then you can make copies of this sheet of paper and be like, hey, and see, these guys acknowledge the fact. IRS, so I'm starting to get different agencies in that bureaucracy to acknowledge the fact that, oh, this is a living man. This is the agent for Ben H. Rogers. That's my real name, right? But that's not my real name. Ben H. Rogers in all caps. What's the H stand for? Okay, my middle name, duh. But the idea being is that Crouton Ramon, unique on the internet. Ben Rogers, there's a million of them. You've heard this before. And see, I start using my real name after about an hour and 35 minutes in. But the idea being is that that name right there, I represent. Okay, they want to represent it. And in order for them to represent it, they got to get me to sign documents that I don't understand so that they can. And again, fraud vitiates all contracts. So again, once you get out from underneath this thing, which is your birth certificate, with the numbers here and so forth, and the seals and so on. Okay, that's fraud. All right, so once you get out from underneath that, then they're going to try and get you to sign again and get under a new contract. Voter registration, certificate of title, bonds, all this other stuff, because you're a bonded freeman. So what you want to do is not do that, right? But this is fraud. So you're trying to get out from underneath the fraud, and you're trying to understand, okay, the stories that they told you, like you so much as a pomegranate seed, and you're in hell, right? The Achilles heel story, you leave even so much as your heel exposed, and they will take advantage of it. You must put on, quote unquote, the armor of God, right? Wear that armor. It is all inclusive, and stay on your square, which is the primary armor, and you're fine. They can't do nothing. They can do nothing to you. Okay, but you don't have the armor of God. You have like one little document. You have one little contract. You have one, oh, I want to keep my Social Security card. No, you got to surrender all of that. It all has to stay in the land of the dead. Right? Because you are removing yourself to the land of the living. And you don't know how. You are removing yourself to the point where you are no longer under the corporations. You actually stand over the corporations, because they are in fact service corporations, that the service that they provided was the protection of your rights, and they've completely gone astray from that. When I am at the point where if anytime you leave your house and you go on the road, they can get you for expired license plate. Oh, you don't have the right sticker on your car. Oh, you were wearing were talking on your cell phone, weren't wearing your seat, whatever. You owe us money now. It's piracy. It's a private corporation acting on the public. That's privateering, right? And see, that's the thing. You guys, Jack Sparrow was a privateer. He was a guy that came from the private and was acting in the public. Okay, once you get in the private, stay in the fucking private. And then you can have in legis that acts in the public and engages in commerce and so forth. But you, and see, even engaging, wow, that's like 3 hours right there. But engaging in commerce, what does that mean? Okay, if you make the thing and you sell the thing and you, right, like, what's a good example? Oh, here's a perfect example. Guy over here sharpens knives. All right, that's his labor, right? He's not engaging in commerce there. He's doing, I mean, yeah, he is, but he isn't. But by strict definition, it's his labor. He's not open for business particularly. Like he's not, okay. Now here's actual commerce. He buys knives that somebody else makes. Okay, so, and then he sells them at one price for, let's say he buys it $1, and he sells it to you for $2. Okay, fair, because you could never get that same knife for $2 either. So he's selling it, like, you know, everybody else is selling them at $3. Wow, you're really feeling good because he's only selling them for $2. All right, but still, he's making profit off of another man's labor. Right? He didn't make that knife. Okay, he's engaging in commerce. Okay, now, he doesn't sell knives. All he does is sharpen the knives. He's not particularly engaging in commerce by the strict definition, because you are trading money for his labor. right? Same thing. Let's say something I've always wanted to do. I don't have the space for it here, but I used to like to do it because in the United States, you can get away with this because it's such a wealthy nation that you can get the material for free. Pallets, and you turn pallets into lovely works of art and furniture and so forth. Free wood that they would burn or that they put in the shredders on this island. We got too many pallets. But you take some of that pallet wood, and if you know what you're looking at, some of it's nice pine, and you can mill it and you can turn it into, so I get the wood and I turn it into, and even better if I chop the tree down myself. But anyway, I take that wood, I turn it into a piece of furniture, and I sell it to you. All right, that's not commerce, right? That's merchandising, as I believe right? You're being a merchant. Oh, wait, that's it. See, there you go. Tradesman, there you go. Trade or business. You got to know what the words mean. One is the commerce or the business. The other one is tradesman, or the other one, right? So you're actually getting money for your skill or your making of a widget or your knitting of the cloth or your, right? But see, we're 100% interdependent because most people don't go from growing the cotton to making the shirt, right? Somebody else grows the cotton. You buy the cotton cheaper. You turn it into a shirt with some of your labor because you know how to make stitches and patterns, and then you sell it at a profit, right? Some people are in the middle where they do the weaving. But anyway, the point being here is when you engage in commerce, there are huge amounts of words written with regard to that commerce. All right, so you want to stay on the private side, and if you're going to engage in commerce, and now you got to know who you is, me, myself, and I, that lower capes, that capitis diminutus maximum, the difference between see, this is actually the master. They tricked you. This is the dead thing. Go to any cemetery. It's always in all caps. This is the title. This is the name. And so you think this is the name. This is not the name. That's the man. The name is the trader business, the all cap thing, or the title case thing. Now, again, doesn't matter because when you speak it, all these things, John, John, John. I just wrote John 3 times. You can't hear the difference unless you see it on paper. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter, right? But the bottom line is that when you see it on paper, you'll know that this is referring to the living man. This is the title of that living man, how this living man is called, as it were. And this is the absolute, we've turned you into the corporate person. We've turned you into the legal fiction. Usually, these two are corporate fictions. These are fictions. And this is, quote unquote, reality. The real thing, the living thing. All right. They're going to try and do everything they can to get you back up here or down there. Right? It depends on how you do it. You can turn it left and right. You can do it right. Okay. But anyway, they're going to try. You got to understand it's 2 different sides. The mirror. What you want to do is be the man in the mirror, right? You don't want to be you want to be the man that causes the reflection. You don't want to be the reflection. How's that? But you're going to need documents that reflect the fact that you're a man. Are you following me? I'm trying to give you as many clues as possible. And you got to get the information yourself. And if you can't read the information for yourself, and if you just want everybody else to do it, then you are fit to be a slave. Simple as that. Frederick Douglass told you that knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. But if you want to just copy and paste, and you don't want to write your own sentences, and you don't want to have to write it out by hand, and you just want to be able to cut and paste, and you're lazy, then you're a fucking lazy slave, and you deserve what you get. Simple as that. If you want to be educated and you want to read and you want to know what's going on here and you want to be able to walk into a court of law, and actually they won't ever invite you into a court of law ever again because they can only summons the dead. They don't summons the living. A cop will give you a ticket on the side of the road and just take the ticket. Just be cordial and kind. Don't be like, no, it's a piece of paper. You might tell them, because go take a look at your pieces of paper. Oops, wrong one. This one? I really got to change folders. That one's got to go into a green folder. Let's take a look at this piece of paper. Okay, yeah, okay, fine. We'll play with these pieces of paper for a second, and then this one. But I wanted to show you this, and then I'm going to quit. I've shown it to you before, here is the actual document that they try to contract you with. But right there at the very beginning, if you were learned, you'd already know that you're in scam-land. Hawaii criminal, that's one word. That's a that hyphen right there makes that one word. So that's no longer style of process. That's no longer state of Hawaii. That's state of Hawaii criminal. So right there on his face, you got him. And then when you start realizing the boxes, and then when you see the defendant, anyway. So right. So be very careful when they send you a form. But let me show you this form. What I was talking about earlier, and I told another friend about this because I'm serious. When I asked them if they were a not-for-profit, non-taxable government entity in a court of law, it looked like I walked across that judge's grave. And I had two eyes in the court because I had my son with me. He was looking around at the other people, and he said that, yeah, the only people in there that knew how to play poker were the judge and the clerk. Everybody else in that courtroom, their faces gave them away. And when I started talking about tapping their bonds, apparently one of the ladies was like, oh, fuck, right? And then I did this later on. I was just like, you should probably maximize your insurance. I'm in no position now to tap their bonds, but anyway, all right. So, donde está? Oops, there's all this stuff. There's all that stuff. Don't want that one. Uh-oh. Really, it's not in here? This is all my copies. Nope, it's not in here. And I'm looking for a letter from the IRS that basically says, why no, they're not a tax-exempt government entity. And what you were looking for is Form 990. The judiciary courts of the state of Hawaii, or the judiciary courts of the state of California, or the judiciary, they're going to hide it around words like that. You have to get it exactly. They have a DUNS number that makes them a private corporation. Private corporations operating in the public. That is the fucking definition of piracy, privateering. But basically, these are happy friends in Ogden, Utah. And see, I got to let the guys in Ogden know, and I got to let the guys in Fresno know. And I can't remember, there's another one that I gotta let know. But anyway, you gotta write them letters and say, hey, I got this letter from you, and I just want to let you know I'm alive. My individual master file should read MFR01. Just change your records to reflect the fact. And oddly enough, apparently when they change their records, a lot of other records get changed too. That's why you want to let them know. But then, you got any kids that are in homeschool? Kids are children suitable for sacrifice is what that actually stands for. So don't call them kids, they're children. But even children makes it so that you're subject to statutes because that's a legal term, children. But anyway, my children is going to ask a letter of the person, okay, the man or woman who sometimes acts, usually only probably 8 hours a day, not 24 hours a day, but for 8 hours a day, acts as the head of the Department of Motor Vehicles. And we're going to ask the man or woman, I don't know who it is, in a homeschool project, do you require a license to travel from point A to point B on this island? And if she knows her salt, she's going to say, no, you can take a bus and somebody else has a license. But no, do you have to have a license to travel from point A to point B? And the answer is going to be no, because you don't need a license. You have the absolute right to travel. That is an inalienable right. And not just inside the county and on the island between here and, say, California, or California and Tibet, or California and Fiji, or California and Canada, or California or Mexico, right? I could literally walk there from California if I wanted to. I can walk across the border. And if you got enough time, you can walk all the way to the Canadian border from California, but it's a bit of a walk. Anyhow, the point being is that you have the right to amble, and if you don't want to walk, maybe you want to use the conveyance of the day. The conveyance of the day is a car, not a motor vehicle. A motor vehicle pulls 26 tons or 26,000 pounds, I believe, or more. 26,000. So what is that? 13 ton. 13. Anyway, but see, it's 26 tons, so they hide the numbers. But anyway, the point being is that your car is not generally a motor vehicle by definition, unless you got a big ass bus or some big ass truck or something that you use to go to the grocery store. But most people don't use 26,000 tons thing right? Okay. So your point is, or my point is, that when you're traveling in the conveyance of the day, you're going to need some documentation, because if you should get pulled over by one of the pirates and you don't have any documentation, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt. So these other people need to give you the documentation that you need so that you can travel, so that they don't impede your inalienable rights. Now, on the higher law, see, there's the laws that are all you're so familiar with in the books and the statutes and so forth. But there is a higher law at operation that some of these guys pay. Well, they can't avoid it because it's like karma. You can't avoid karma. But if they knowingly, got to use the right words, if they knowingly impair your natural rights, they know it's on them. I mean, the slovenly dummies that have IQ caps and volunteered to be in those positions in the first place, probably not. But the guys that once you get up high enough in the for sure, I know this in the IRS, and for sure in your government, once you get high enough up, they understand that they are not just subject to pieces of paper. They are subject to, quote unquote, the higher law. So infringing or impeding your natural God-given rights on purpose, with full knowledge of the fact that you know it and they know it, most of them are not stupid enough to engage in that kind of behavior because there's no out. I don't know how to put it other than those are laws that are immutable, and that they understand that they don't want to get on the wrong side of that. All right, so you need to stand up for yourself. And you need to fill out some paperwork that lets them know that you know, and that lets them know that you know they know that you know. And then once they know that you know that they know, and everybody knows, then they'll start standing on their square, and you can stand on your square, and everybody has a nice day. But if you're going to sit there on the side of the road after you just ran a stop sign or a stoplight, or you're going 57 and a 45 or 63 and a 55 or what the fuck it is, and then you're going to say, I don't consent, I can do whatever. Okay, no, that cop isn't smart enough to know any of this stuff. Half of them, the last cop, he didn't even know he had bonds. He didn't even know he was bonded. And he wasn't fucking with me. He wasn't like, it was just a regular guy who thinks that he's in that position to try to do the right thing in this county. He's a local boy, right? Mom and dad live here on the island. No shame in the last name, trying to do what's right. Okay, you don't want to shoot that guy. Okay, he ignorant as fuck, but he didn't know he had a bond. He didn't know that the Maui County Police Department is a private corporation. He doesn't know that the Judiciary Court for the state of Hawaii doesn't have a fucking Form 990 and he doesn't know any of that stuff. He doesn't know that they're a private corporation. He doesn't know that. He thinks they're the government. He thinks he's working for the Republic. He's working for a private corporation known as United States, and he's all the way down United States Corporation. That's corporate. State of Hawaii. That's a subdivision of United States Corporation. County of Maui. That's a subdivision of the state of Hawaii. And he works for the County of Maui Police Department. He's all the way down here. Lowest level officer you can get. And like I said, I gave you that book that has, well, that's like not true. You are the lowest officer. The lowest level officer you can get. But anyway, I gave you that PDF that is hundreds and hundreds of pages just talking about officers. See, and it turns out in some of these words, like property, you got to know property. Understand property. Understand that children are property. Living property, living estate. They're part of your living estate and is synonymous with property. That doesn't mean you own them in that way. And when they turn 25, you better quit pretending like you know. Actually, when they turn 18, probably. And actually, at no point should you actually treat them like property, but they are your property. They came from you. You made that with your woman or your man, right? You made them. And you made the mush. You made this shit. But God Almighty put the spark in them that makes them men and women, that gives them the inalienable rights, right? I'm going to a funeral on Saturday morning. It's a friend of mine. So she outlived every fucking buddy. Nobody at that funeral is going to be crying, and we're all going to be laughing our asses off. But we had to console the guy whose mom died because after all, it is his mom. But I mean, she outlived every fucking buddy. I mean, everybody. And she had all kind of stuff. You'd never have thought this woman would have lived this long. And I'm like, how could you leave now when it just gets exciting? But anyway, she left. All right, she ain't there. And that's the first thing that guy talked to me. Because, you know, when you talk to the people that have it, right? The first thing he said to me, she wasn't there. She wasn't there. That wasn't, I mean, the body was there, but she wasn't there. And you know it. If you've ever been around dead bodies, you know, they're not there. The flesh is there, right? That's there, right? This thing's there, but they're not there. Okay, that comes from God. however you want to look at it. That comes from the thing, and most people don't understand it, but anyway, I'm going to come from that paradigm and just say that comes from Almighty God. Those are where your rights come from. That's where your rights spring from. Your right to travel, your right to be left the fuck alone, your right to defend yourself, your right to pursue life, liberty, and happiness, as long as those things aren't making, because if torturing children makes you happy, sorry, can't let you do that, right? But if teaching them mathematics and feeding them good food and showing them how to grow plants and be kind to animals makes you happy, probably that's good because you're not hurting anybody. Now, the bottom line here, folks, is you need to get it straight in your head that you either believe the good news or you don't. If you believe the good news, and to me, the good news is a double-edged sword because you're here forever. You've always been here. You're always going to be here. You're never not going to be here. Think about the huge responsibility just that much comes with. All right, so you should be here making this place better. You should be here making it so that, there's more plants, there's more animals, there's more abundance. You're setting it up because guess what? You're coming back into this thing in the first place. So why wouldn't you make it easier for your next... Anyway, all right. But the idea, and see, so many people can't even get their heads around that. Oh, crazy talk. Oh, you don't know that. You don't know that. Anyway, I know that it's all an accident. There was a big bang. Okay, fine. I'm not going to argue the point. Mathematics says no, but all right, fine. You're so fucking ignorant that you're going to use mathematics to say that that's what happened. But all right, fine. But the point being is that your rights are to be protected by these service corporations. They didn't come from the service corporations. All right. Starting from when they're babies all the way up. That you made. That is, so your job, your number one job, you got one job, motherfuckers. And the one job when you're in government is to protect my rights. That's it. You don't protect my health. I don't need a fucking handout. It's not for you to do, right? Okay. You have one job, protect my rights. All right. You want to do some water work so I can get water and you want to do some electricity. All right, fine. Municipalities and municipal things working together to make it so that we all prosper. All right. I'm good with that. But the number one thing is to protect rights. And then feed, right? Make it so that I can pursue life, liberty, and happiness. All right. You didn't give me that. You don't give me happiness. You don't give me life. You didn't give me anything. You certainly don't fucking make me happy. All right. Only you can do that. All right. Based on the fact that you are a living soul. You are a celestial being here for a very short amount of time in this kind of incarnation, in this kind of flesh. But in the grand scheme of things, you're here forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Never comes to an end. Okay, so if you know that much, what's the worst they can do? Send you back home, you get a new body? What? So what? So what? Right? Are you so fucking attached to your fucking Ford Fairlane? Right? Or your Ford F-150 and your fucking boots that you, right? Okay, yeah, next time those boots might not fit. Next time you might not be wearing jeans, you might be wearing a skirt. Next time you might not be wearing a skirt, you might be wearing jeans. Of course, now it doesn't matter, but you know what I'm saying. And see, if you go read the stuff that's not canon, Christ Jesus tells you that you must become like a man or a woman at the time if you want to enter into the kingdom of heaven. You're a man and you're a woman. Okay, that doesn't mean what you think it means. And I can't really get into that because we'd have to have a lot of shared experience. But the bottom line is this thing is going to put something into the other thing, and that other thing is going to spit it back out. But it's both you. It's two sides of the whole thing, and one is the female aspect and one is a male aspect. But this is all happening on paper. It's the same thing. You put sperm in, the baby comes out, right? And the woman is the thing that allows that to happen. Right? But no one comes here, and I've said this before, and it makes you sound like a crazy person, and they've perverted that. No one comes here without the permission of a woman, period. That woman doesn't want that baby to come to term. You don't come here. Simple. The woman has the ultimate power for that part of it. When you want to come here, now she can be berated and badgered by husbands and fathers and so forth, but bottom line is, up until quite recently, women had the knowledge of the second kingdom, which was the plants and animals and so forth, what plants they could eat so that they could make it so that that baby wouldn't come out, right? So that they could continue their menstruation. And they've tried to hide that piece of knowledge from women and men, right? So that you can control the thing, because they want, if they wanted to come in, right? Okay, because they don't tell you it's a sacrifice. They call it an abortion. Right? They don't tell you that you're sacrificing to their gods when you kill your own baby, and just so happens you used a. And now I think people are starting to see that those people have turned against you. You're what you considered medical doctors. Yeah, put the mask on. Any doctor that tells you to put a mask on, you might want to reconsider. All right, I'm out. Let me just read over here. Because there's been a couple times when I wish I would have read because I would have answered. But yeah, these are pinhole glasses and so on. Anyway. Oh, Gab. Get on Gab. Gab sucks ass right now because it's so slow. It's like freaking going back to the 80s. But it's because it's an exodus over there and they can't build it fast enough. But anyway, Gab. Yes, there you go. All right, thanks. I'm just reading here. I could read them out loud. That's for sure. I already made a video on sulfur, and I mean, how much more do you want to know? Just go do your own research. There's a crap ton of stuff for you to know about sulfur and sulfur. The person is talking about this kind of sulfur. See, and that's the other thing. People think that sulfur is yellow and sulfur. No, this is the sulfur I'm talking about. And yes, it will absolutely change your life. But I mean, yeah, nothing happens without that. How's that? Everything that all the bodily functions are enhanced when it comes to what's the word I want? The assimilation of minerals or the excretion of minerals, right? And you got to do both. You got to excrete and, right, especially the metallics. You want to get rid of those. Anyway, but yeah, that thing makes everything happen. Let's see here. Yeah, no worries. You can just run them from the beginning. And then here's what I found is that you have to let it go for a couple of days, and then you can read the chat that I'm reading right now too. If you do it right immediately, that chat doesn't come immediately. And like I said, scroll up on this chat and find that link I put in there that has all the drops. Let's see here. Yeah, I kind of sort of combed it. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm pro-abortion, but I've never been. I mean, you're murdering a baby, just so you know. You're murdering a baby. But I mean, there are times when you don't want the baby to come in, and there are times when the baby should absolutely come in. And if it's 6 months later, your choice has already been made for you. Right? I mean, you can. This is my opinion, and this, right? I mean, there are people that have different opinions, but even Ron Paul's, who is, a gynecologist, was basically, the morning after pill and so forth. I mean, yeah, you wouldn't know if that would come to term. And you got to understand, 1 out of 4 don't go to term. Even if everything's pretty much perfect, 1 out of 4 do not go to term, right? Just naturally. So women having miscarriages that are healthy and everything, like I said, everything's fine, and you still have a miscarriage. That happens, right? That's very common, and women have a hard time with the miscarriage thing. But anyway, the idea being is that 1 out of 4 happens that way. Anyway, there are times when I agree that it's not appropriate to bring a child into the situation, especially if it's like, say, an abusive relationship. A lot of women think that they're going to fix an abusive relationship by bringing a child into it. No, now you're going to have an abused child. Anyway, and others of them understand that. And I know, and I've heard women say, I'll never give you a baby. I'll never give you a baby. But babies are the best. I mean, fuck, babies. Ask anybody that's got kids. They're the best. Let's see here. But what they've done is try to make it so that, oh, my body, my choice. No, there's others involved in that choice. And just because they call it abortion doesn't mean that you're not sacrificing to Saturn. Let's see here. Slow down. Can't do it. Oh, good. I can't do the MeWe thing. MeWe's just, anyway, and too many platforms. I'm fooling around with Gab, but Gab is horrifying right now. Like I said, Gab, I thought Gab wasn't working. No, it's just slow, right? So you push like post, and then like go make a cup of tea, and then finally your post comes up. All right. Oh, yeah. I don't even need a link. Here, I'll just give you the picture. Just go look it up. You can find it yourself. It's, I believe it's msm.com. But anyway, just there. Just search that. PC network. PCRX network. Anyway, and I believe it is msm.msn.com. And I don't see... Yes, it is. It's www.msn-msm.com. So here, and this is the $35 one. They have all kinds. Dash. There you go. $35, change your life. Arthritis pain, oh my God, we'll take it out. So even and the kind of like even swollen arthritis pain. Oh, look, I ripped a fingernail down there. Let's see, and see that's the thing. It keeps this kind of stuff to a minimum. But I was doing that got caught on a when I was moving on the edge of the of this brick that I was thing, and the brick was rough, so it caught the fingernail, and then the brick slid, and then it ripped my fingernail off. But anyway, that's the other thing. You'll notice your fingernails grow super fast. I just cut these, and they're already needing cutting again. Your hair will grow super fast. The gray will not be as gray. You will feel the difference in your skin. There's a story that one of the I believe it was a Chinese emperor whose name I cannot remember at the moment, used to make his concubines bathe in that silver or in that sulfur and so forth and drink it because it made their skin super extra soft. And it does. Anyhow, find some and use it. And like I said, black seed oil. I'll try to give you all the secrets. Oh, I'll give you one more thing, which I'll give you this weekend. But it's Sanctuary. It's energetic balancing aim. Long story short, I knew the guy that did that too. See, mathematics opens so many doors. You have no idea. And he made this frequency balancing thing that seems to work. I'll leave it at that. And that'll be that. All right. Rapunzel, there you go. Oh yeah, olive oil. Oh yes, absolutely. Olive oil is awesome, awesome, awesome. The oils are important. Coconut oil. I'm from the Pacific, so I mean olive oil. I don't particularly care for the flavor of olive oil, but coconut oil, and coconut oil has many of the same benefits. But there are certain olive oils that they're like magic, and coconut oils too that are like magic. The MCT and so forth for your brain and for your skin. I found out that there are certain things I can take because we have the hot Hawaii sun here, and our winter sun is worse than the summer sun in most of North America. But I mean, out in the summer sun all day and not get burned, not by using suntan lotion so much as by the things that I have eaten. And one of the main ones is coconut oil. It helps keep your skin from burning. And then there's another oil. Here, I'll show you this one. Look, I have it handy even. Oh, didn't have to even find it. Is this one. This is red algae from Big Island. They grow them in vats. I've seen them. But anyway, this bioastin, it's like taking suntan lotion from the inside. And it also helps. It has, go do research. Just I'm not going to spend the time. And the cool thing about this guy is if you go do the research, he's done the research for you. But, there's no brochure that makes the hotel look bad. But this guy has, third party. I mean, this stuff's the real deal. Good for your brain, good for your skin, good for all kind of stuff. Find out about it. And I just happen to be the super high potency one. Also, like if you're doing marathons and you want, all kind of stuff. This is good stuff. All right. Am I POW? I think I'm POW. Yeah, no, sunscreen, not so much. Yep. But see, that's the thing. Texas sun, even your Texas sun is not as strong as our sun because you're just further up, right? You're further north. We're only 21 degrees north. So compare Texas to, say, like Cancun. You can see how far north you are compared. And you'd spend that same amount of time in Cancun and you get burned. You spend the same amount of time in Texas and you don't get burned, because that few degrees, that 20, makes a hell of a difference, as it turns out. Yep. I so hope that's true. I want that. See, that's why people want stories to be true, or they want things to be true. And again, with that programming, they want Biden to be the good guy and they want Trump to be the bad guy. So they want the election. You know what I mean? They want it. Okay. I want JFK Jr. to be alive so bad. I can't tell you. Is he? I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. I have a sinking suspicion that he is. Just like I have a sinking suspicion. Well, I don't have a sinking suspicion. I will tell you, homeboy, he never do that. He didn't do it. Right? They had to put him in witness protection, and he'll be showing his face again soon. Promise. These guys aren't getting. I mean, fuck. I can't get over you guys thinking that somehow all is lost. Oh, what was us? No. Anyway, no. They're not handing over to pedophiles. They're just not. Anything else? There was something else. See, it came into my head while I was doing this, and then ozone. Yeah, that's something. Oh, the rapture. Let's talk about that one last one. Okay, this book right here talks about a rapture. Many people have taken it literally again, where it's like, oh, the bones are going to come back on this. The skin is going to come back on the bones, and the bones are going to rise up, and you're all going to go to heaven. All right, fucking Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witnesses, mouth-breathing idiots. Fine, because I guarantee you the guys high up enough know that that's not the case. All right, you're dead. If you haven't done the paperwork that I'm doing, you're dead. For all intents and purposes, you're dead. That's why the final contract, the statement that they want that shuts the whole thing down, is the death certificate. That closes the estate up. That makes it so that they can plunder you all the way. They just have to wait 7 years because nobody else, because they got to let you claim and so forth. All right. So the rapture that's about to happen with Trump at the head of it, it blows my mind that this motherfucker is the guy that they chose. But all right. Okay, see, that's the thing. Doesn't have to be the most pious, doesn't have to be the most blah, blah, blah. Has to be the right fucking guy for the job. And the Jesus, he picked the right guy for the job. The God, he picks the right guy for the job. He was apparently, he's got the bankruptcy experience, he's got the technology, he's got the billionaire boys club, he was squeaky clean. They would never have put him in that position because they knew what they were doing and they understood the plan if the media was going to be able to find dirt on him. Julian Assange said it best when he was point blank out, how come you never give anything out about Trump? That's basically how she said it. How come you never put anything out about Trump? And his simple response was, because there isn't anything. We don't got anything. We had dirt on him, we put it up. Because I can assure you, Assange and a few other people, and like guys like me, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't have a golden cow. If I knew for a fact about the man having nefarious things in his record that I could prove and I knew about, I'd tell you about it. I have nothing. I've seen nothing. I have seen innuendo. I've seen bullshit stories from the mainstream media, but I have seen not a goddamn thing other than Sun Tzu, where you keep your enemies close, right? So there are pictures of him around those people. Absolutely there are. But there are pictures around me with some people that are very bad. Let's put it that way. Because you keep your enemies close and your friends, all right? You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer than that. So how are you going to, how am I, okay, I can't go down that road, but okay, they would never suspect me. They would never suspect Trump. He was in the Billionaires Boys Club. He was having parties. He was hanging around with these people. He was seeing what was going on right under his nose, and he didn't like it. And unlike you and me, who sit in our armchairs and go, we should do something about it, he actually fucking got off his ass and did something about it. And then he was fully vetted. And now what you see in DC is full panic. These are not people that are in control. These are not people that are, these are people that are waiting for the shoe to drop. These are not, right? They're practically screeching at this point. And see, as my oldest boy explained to me, because he's been taking chess lessons and all this other stuff, is that, the last person that moves wins the game in the game of chess. And yes, you jackass, if your pawn gets all the way to the other side, it turns into a queen. He didn't even need that. But anyway, the point being is that Trump is picking off the pieces, and there's nothing, not a goddamn thing the other guy can do about it. He keeps putting them in check and then take a piece. Put them in check and then take a piece. Put them in check and then take a piece. That's what's been going on. And he is just picking off the pieces on the board without taking losses to their side. And now he's got them basically into a corner, and now they're just waiting. They can see that how they're going to set it up, and there's nothing they can do to block it, right? And just because the queen is sitting way over here on the other side of the board doesn't mean that she can't just slide all the way over here and checkmate. And then there's no more moves. That's it. Okay, so understand that, and then combine that with Sun Tzu, and you'll see what's going on right here. I am happy as a clam. I am all smiles. Like I said, I bet a guy 10 grand. But if you think everything is sorted out and night and day happens on the 10 plus 10 of this month, that's not the case. That's exactly, I mean, that's, this thing is, like I said, we're not in the ninth inning, right? This is not, we're not bottom of the ninth. That's not where we are. Okay. Can I quit now? But the idea, exactly. Over here, I'm reading Justin writes, like apocalypse, except for the part where I can't read English. Like apocalypse doesn't mean what you think. It means disclosure or awakening. We're in the apocalypse, right? People think it means the end of the world. No, apocalypse means that, yeah, no one will be able to deny what comes. Soon, you're dumb. Like, there are friends I have right now, they're still in full denial. But no one will be able to deny the truth that comes. And it will be blinding. And some of them, it will shatter them. And some of them will commit suicide. Just get used to it. That's going to happen. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Trump, enemy of our enemy. I don't know if I never voted for him. I don't think I could vote for him. He's one of them, not one of us, but he's one of them that took up the yoke and decided to see. In government in general, like I said in the last video and other videos, what is supposed to happen is that you and I are supposed to govern ourselves, and that occasionally you and I, not all of us, but it will take the sacrifice and go sit in the county or go sit in the state and but the idea was you were supposed to not line your pockets. You were supposed to sit there and govern and try and make everyone prosperous. Which means better roads, which means better infrastructure, which means fewer taxes, not more taxes. Or if you do taxes, you raise tax so that you can make things better, and then you lower the taxes again. Make sure everybody's fed. Make sure everybody's educated. Make sure everybody has access to books in libraries. Make sure that they can educate themselves if they want to be educated. Make sure, right, not shut down the libraries and cut the time there. Make sure that the ones that are harmful and can't stay on their square get away from the ones that can, right? That's the job. That's not what we have going on here, right? You got money, you can get out of it. You know it. That was my favorite thing about OJ, right? I didn't think OJ was innocent. It just made me laugh because anybody that knows, saw me after that, is that my faith was restored, is that a black man could use money and get off just as easily as a white man could use money and get off. Because I can guarantee you there are plenty of billionaires who have committed murder, cold-blooded murder, and are absolutely free because they had money. Anyhow, but the idea with the Trumpinator is that he took that responsibility to heart and said, all right, I'm going to go spend 8 years of my life and do what I can to make this thing better. And then he's going to quit. And he just happened to take on the huge and monumental task, not just governing us and not just trying to make it so that everybody prospers and so forth, that he was trying to root out the evil that was causing us not to prosper. All right, anyway. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. All right. There you go. Right. And what is government anyway? Mind control. Government. Meant govern. Govern the mind. Once they got the mind, they got everything else. And you now see it. So again, how are they going to unfuck. How are they gonna? Right? What's the difference between a woman and a light bulb? You can't unscrew a woman, right? You can unscrew a light bulb. All right. What they're going to do is use the same media, the same news, the same thing, and they're gonna have to see it on TV. They're gonna have to watch it happen in front of their TVs because that's how they program themselves. That's how they're gonna get deprogrammed. That's how they're gonna be wakened, is with the device that put them to sleep. Do you see? So there's going to be some monumental things that happen. Be of good cheer. I'm telling you, next week is going to be crazy. The week after that's going to be crazy. Get your ass over to Costco. Get your powder dry. Get those final preparations made. And understand that this is what you fucking been preparing for. What I've been talking about for years. This is what's happening. It's happening right now. It's coming. We're within days. We're not. I mean, it's like it's not years away anymore. It's coming. And then we're going to come out the other side, and it's going to be awesome. So you don't want to be on the ones that don't make it out the other side because you didn't have food, because you got an entanglement with some confused law enforcement agent who might have thought you were somebody else, or God knows, or one of the guys that's been hired to be an agent provocateur, Antifa BLM, right? Just fucking get through this. And when we get to the other side, right? So don't be causing violence. Don't step off your square. Yeah, I know. I want to shoot some of these motherfuckers too. Absolutely, I do. All right, but just right, just sit on your square, take care of your kids, take care of your wife, take care of your husband. I don't know what sex you are, but I mean, take care of your fucking own, in your own house, and let the events happen around you. Enjoy the show. Sit back and enjoy the show, because it's going to be a hell of a show. And it's a reality TV star that's our president. So you can participate in the show. But if I was you, I'd stay home and take care of your own. Just saying. Store up some food this weekend. If Mormons know about the Mormon locker, go fucking look that up. And what does it say that you're supposed to have in your Mormon locker? Go fill up your Mormon locker. Go buy some stuff in bulk and put it in the smaller containers. Go put up some fucking butter. Right? Worst case scenario, you eat it. Right? Go buy some Mountain Home. 25 fucking year lifespan. All right, so we're all wrong and everything just turns out to be a cakewalk and everything's dandy over the next couple of months. Right, then you just spend time eating your food. But I have a feeling that's not how it's going to go. Ask the people in Pakistan. What happened in Pakistan? Ask the people in Italy. What happened in Italy? Soon, you'll be able to ask some people in places like New Zealand and Australia and other places that are London itself, not the city of London, but the capital, London, the city that is outside of the city of London. Big changes are happening. Big changes are happening. And and we're never going back. Get it out of your head that it's going to be like how it used to be. It's never going to be how it used to be. It's going to be better, is what it's going to be. The D class, like I said, if you scroll up, you can find it. Here, I'll put it there again, just because you guys have done so much, and then I'll try to put it underneath. But that right there, that's just the beginning of D class, and this is what I consider the bullshit D class, right? There's a whole other D class, and I don't know if they're going to let that out now or when it's coming. But there's a whole another treasure trove like that, and all it is UFOs. All it is about quote unquote aliens, the others. It's the stuff that they have. Understand there are others. Again, that will be the most fundamental change when you realize it's not just some guy on the internet, and it's not just there are others. Think about the profound. I mean, nothing about them is the same as us. They didn't come from the same planet. They don't have any shared experiences. They don't idolize any of the people that we idolize. They don't have a system of theology. They don't have nothing is the same. And they exist. All right. And they might have spent a little time on the important stuff, whereas we spend a lot of time on stuff that's not important. But the idea being is that there are others. All right. Get it through your heads. Once you start getting that, then you start realizing why we got to go through all the stuff that's going on, because in our current state of affairs, we are not able to deal with others. We can't play well with others. We play very poorly. We play poorly with ourselves, much less others. There you go. All right. So I think I'm going to call this a day here. Yes, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. I mean, see, and this is the thing, Brew, right? And this is what I'm telling people on this island. There's a lot of people on this island. They know it's bullshit, but they're afraid of the government. They're afraid to take it off. They're afraid. And see, Who's going to tell you to take it off? And when? So you wear your mask until when? We have these lockdowns until when? Until what? What's the thing? What's the end game? What happens that lets you know that you've won? And you can take your mask off. We're already down to the point where I think they have 17 cases of flu when they're supposed to have thousands and thousands and thousands. Yeah, so they just did some rebranding, a little relay, right? Okay, again, fear, mind control. They got this. They absolutely got this. Okay, take back control of this. Once you take back control of this, you'll have the ability to take this and do this. And see, believe me, they cast spells at you, right? I mean, you don't call it casting spells. You call it watching TV, but they cast spells at you. You call it listening to music. They cast spells at you, right? And so the people that cast the spells got to go through the rituals, and they got to do the things. And I feel particularly bad for the females, the women, they're not females, that feel the need to do that, right? Cut off her pretty hair and then put on the uniform. That's a cute dress, black and white. Or like, oops, I collect them. Not that one, this one. Or like her. Or she's giving you the full, because she's a movie star, she's giving you the full everything. She's seated, right? And the other one, somebody said, oh, so they give you a belt? It's not a belt. I mean, in this case, it's a mantle. It's the same thing as when you get the tarot card that has justice and he's seated. What color is his mantle? Green, always, right? What is the green mantle? When you win the Tiger Woods, when you won the Open, or the whatever the fuck it was, I don't remember what game it was. Anyway, what do you get? You get the green jacket. That makes you the master. Right? The jacket isn't yellow. The jacket isn't orange. The jacket isn't red. They don't give you a red jacket. They give you a green jacket. It's green. Right? A green jacket for your documents. This lets them know. Okay. The green ribbon on your documents. Anyway, I've gone over it. Colors mean something. Words mean something. And then try to understand the numbers came first. The numbers came before the letters. The numbers came first. That's why in most... Actually, shut up, right? Enough. Okay. But be of good cheer. Everything is all happening. It's happening. It is definitely happening. We have... they saw the opportunity to throw off these evil ones, and they're taking it. They have everything. The cover story now that they have everything is they have the laptops too that they got from the Capitol after the insurrection. But they didn't want the plebes knowing that, yeah, they have everything and how they got everything. But now they can say, oh, we have everything. We confiscated it. We have warrants for them. So now we can use all the stuff that's on those laptops. The stuff that I dropped right there, like I said, go read some of that. Go look at Epstein's Black Book. Go look at those flight logs. Go look at, I mean, pick the stuff that's important because there's so much information there and there's a lot more coming. There's more D-class coming. And that's why the D-class is coming now, because there's so much shit. It's going to take hours and hours of teams of people. I know people in San Diego, for example, where there are, I don't know how many of them, probably 75 of them. And you get a dump like that. And okay, you take this, you take this, you take this, you take this. And then they all compare notes and so forth, right? And is there anything, oh, you should know about this. But see, that makes it so that one person doesn't have to do all of it. One person does 1/75 of the work. And there's a crap ton of stuff there. Like I said, there on that link that I just put. Here, wait, I'll put it again. Go check it. I hope you guys took some screenshots, like I said, of the parlor pages of Linwood and so forth. Told you they were going to take that down. They're going to take it. I told you it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We're already starting to get to the better, but Twitter, etc., Facebook, yeah, those are not places to be. When I go on Facebook now, and I'm banned. Every handle I have is now banned currently. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new record. Even my alternate accounts are banned at the moment. I mean, they're taking it all fucking down so that people can sit there and say the most asinine shit. Like, okay, just so that you know, Biden. Anyway, it's coming. You know what's coming. Biden isn't going to be president. Kamala Harris isn't going to be vice president. That's not happening. It's not like how when we talked about Trump. Remember there was that great video where they're just saying, you can take it to the bank. Trump isn't going to be president. Well, you can take it to the bank. Trump is going to be president, and Biden isn't going to be president. And and no matter what the behind the scene, what it looks like, just they're going to make all kind of blustery bluffs and bullshit between now and next week, but none of that's happening. And understand that some of you, not all of you, but some of you that are watching this, all 19 of you that are watching this, need to think about relocation into places where there are like-minded individuals, because the walls of Jericho are in fact going to come tumbling down, and you don't want to be in Jericho when that happens. You want to be outside of Jericho watching from a distance. So and they're going to be starved out. They're going to use all their ponies, right? They're going to use the beasts that they have. They're going to use the divide and conquer, obviously, but they're going to divide and conquer with food. Is one of the ways they're going to do that. People that have food and people that don't have food, you get in that situation and you will know what desperation is, and you will know what actually fighting for your life is, because the person that's on the other side, if they're hungry and they want food, yeah. Anyway, okay, so food is going to be a thing. And that's always divide and conquer. That's the number one thing, right? They get your ideas, they get the mind, but that's the first pony. That's the first horseman of the apocalypse is always. And again, as the one guy put, as Justin put, apocalypse doesn't mean what you think. Rapture doesn't mean what you think. A lot of these things don't mean what you think. But you are going to be given the opportunity to enter the kingdom of heaven and rise and become not a dead thing anymore. And then all the demons and all the Luciferians and all the Satanists and so forth are going to do everything they can to get you back in. And if you have so much, if your hands are not clean and you have so much as a fucking pomegranate seed in you, you're going to get pulled right back into the land of the dead. Those are the stories. All right. All right, so like I said, your Achilles heel, you got to put the armor full on, and the armor of God is knowledge, number one. All right, so anyway, first horseman of the apocalypse, and understanding that I'm talking about four horsemen. I'm not talking about four horses. I'm not talking about guys riding around on horses. That's not what I'm talking about. Just like when they talk about getting crucified, that's not what they're talking about. When they talk about Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, that's not what they're talking about. They're not talking about... Anyway, if you take the literal translation, you're going to be a dumbass for the rest of your life. You need to understand that they were talking in metaphor. Back then, it was the same system. Right now, it's the same fucking guys, for God's sakes. So understand that the metaphors, it's the same. Now, if we were to write a new one, it might be a different thing, because now we live in an age where it's not those kind of metaphors. Other metaphors might be more appropriate. But anyway, understand the metaphors. So, and understand the signs and seals and symbols. But first horseman, the horseman that we can't get away with, it makes me sick, but I see it's coming, because it doesn't matter. But we are going to war. And it's going to issue around Taiwan and China. There's no way out of that. We're going to war. So just be advised that we're going to war. And God bless those men that have decided that they want to be part of it. I don't want any part of it, and I don't want my children to be any part of it. But I can see the necessity of the fact. And it's coming, and it plays into everybody. Again, it plays into too many people's timelines, and it plays into too many people's agendas. So there's going to be war. War is always one of the horses of the apocalypse, or one of the four horsemen. War is one. Divide and conquer, right? Famine, right? Food has always been warfare. So make it so that's why the Mormons and others have figured out. You remove this vehicle from them if you take care of your own food. Now, what do? They got you to, we're wealthy, and certainly we're not going to garden our own vegetables and so forth, so we're going to put all short grass around our houses, and we're going to put all kind of lapidaries and lovely gardens and so forth, and nothing in there can you eat. And then the peasants are going to emulate us, and then instead of, right, okay, that's what they've done. And then they'll have even homeowners associations pull up your fucking gardens, because they don't want you being self-sufficient. They want you, because they want you having to go get FRNs. And then you get to FRNs, and then you take it to the store, and then they're involved. Anyway, and you see, they want a part of that. They absolutely want a part of that. So one of the most radical things you can do is grow some of your own food. Period. All right, so I'll put a post on that one. So divide and conquer, famine, right? Pestilence, disease, and war. War often will make the others happen, right? They all go together like this, right? Okay, so circumvent that. Make it so that they can't use famine against it. Build your immune system and your knowledge of health and well-being to the point where they can't use pestilence against you. You can avoid war. Maybe you don't want to sign your children or let your children sign up for these ridiculous reindeer games that they play. But on this one, anyway, we're going to war. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It makes me want to cry. But it's part of the program. And see, they're fulfilling the book. This is the other thing that you have to understand. Some of this is, some of the prophecy, I can't even put it into words. But it's self-fulfilling prophecy. They're fulfilling the book. It tells you what's going to happen in here. And even if it wasn't going to happen, they're going to make it happen. You understand what I'm trying to say? These maniacs are going to try to fulfill everything that's in Revelation. Okay, there are other people that have a different book that also have prophecy and Revelation. Those guys have to fulfill that book. And there are another group that also has a book that has prophecy and Revelation in there. They don't call it prophecy and Revelation. They have different words for it. But again, those guys are going to try to, and guess what? They all kind of line up. It's odd when you start doing quote unquote comparative religion, doing the Joseph Campbell wild thing. But the bottom line is war is on the agenda. And hopefully that'll be the last one for a long, long time. But the first one, the second one, we're in the third one. We're in the not hot part of the third one. But the third one does go hot after all. All right. So, yes. You guys keep going, and I keep wanting to quit. Yep. 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 And Caesar just happens to be at 300 Constitution Avenue waiting for your documents. Oh, wait a minute. Let me read her whole name. On the fly, while I'm doing it. That's the one thing. Oh, you know what? The one thing that only makes me sad, the only thing that I didn't get out of all my, what do you call it? When my computer crashed, the only thing I didn't get back was my bookmarks. That makes me sad because I had some fucking esoteric bookmarks. And then see the other thing too is with those bookmarks, a lot of those pages were taken down, but then I could cut and paste the bookmark and put it into the Wayback Machine, and then I could get it that way. Now I don't have the bookmarks at all. And see what I should have done, and what I'm going to do from now on is every time I make a bookmark, then I'm going to cut and paste it and put it into a couple documents that I can save, so that even if I can't click them, at least I'll have the bookmarks. But anyway, that was the only thing I missed was my bookmarks. But let me just give you this, because I could just click a bookmark and take you right there. But I have sort of Google guy can do it. No, not you. Yes, you. But this is not the page I want. See, I had it directly to the page. About the courts, judges and relationships, records, where's rules and policies, career. You want a career in there? They're hiring. Authorized judgeships. Nope, we don't want any of that. Bankruptcy forms. Don't want any of that. Don't want any menu. Crap, this is not the link I want, but that's the page. Should I put it there just for fun? All right. U.S. Bankruptcy Court. Let's go with U.S. Bankruptcy Court address. Hey. Fucking Google. Oh, wait, that's Oahu. I don't want they gave me the local bankruptcy court. Oh, Beck, and that's the same page. Can't find it. See? That's why you want the bookmarks. But anyway, the one over there is 1132. Interesting. 132 Bishop Street on Honolulu, Hawaii. That's the local branch of the bankruptcy court. Let me see if I can get it this way, because I have it pretty much memorized. Yes, District of Columbia Bankruptcy Court. Give it to me. Mama Google. There you go. Okay, so now, 33333, 333 Constitution Avenue, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 2000, right, 20001, room 1225. Who is the clerk of the court? What is her name? Wait, here's the judge's information. Yeah, this is not the page either, but at least it's got the stuff there. Crap. Where is it? Her name. Her name is Caesar though. Oh, there you go. It's right there on the front. How about you look on the freaking banner? Angela D. Caesar is the clerk of the court. You need to send some bank paperwork to Angela D. Caesar. You need to render unto Angela D. Caesar, Angel D. Caesar. It's like we have Ferdinand D. Cow. This is Angela D. Caesar. Anyway, and who is the judge, the bankruptcy judge? Gunn. Elizabeth L. Gunn, with 2 N's. Anyway, the names, it's just fun. And guess what? I'm pretty confident Angela D. Caesar is the same thing as the Dread Pirate Roberts, as the same thing as the Christ. There are plenty of Christs. The one Christ that you want is the Jesus Christ, Christ Jesus. But Christ is a title. Christ is not a person. It's a position. How's that? Okay. But render unto Caesar. Some of that paperwork needs to go in there. And then you need to get accounts set up, and then you need to get the fuck out from underneath the whore of Babylon and never come back. All right. And I'm gonna, I think I'm so far, like, I don't think they can get me on this one, but they told me I'm gonna have another strike, and I guarantee you I can't keep my mouth shut, and I'm not gonna, and I shouldn't have to. So anyway, BitChute is a thing. What is it called? HugeTube or something is a thing. There's a couple other ones, but no one, I have to say, maybe it's just because I'm a creature of habit, but no one has made it as easy as to go live and to put videos up. I mean, even BitChute is a pain in the, you know what, to get it up there. And you can't go live. But YouTube is going to be back in the hands of all of us again soon, and they're going to be like a utility, and that's coming also, because they're abused the privilege to the max. That 230, that's only the very beginning of the free speech violations that they're a part of. And again, I can show you now public laws that tell you that you may not operate your business in such a manner that violates the rights of the people that are going, the constitutional rights. And in the United States, that's the United States Constitution, because again, those constitutional rights, you're not a party to those constitutional rights, but you have those rights, and you may not operate a business that violates those rights. So if you're in a state where they're telling you got to wear a mask, you can sue them. They're telling you that no mask, no service, you can sue them. You won't, but you can. Because they may not violate your rights in that fashion. They may not tell you what to do. They can't tell you what to do. They can't. They can, but they can't. Like you can't go into Costco and shoot silly string everywhere and shit on the floor and throw water on the floor that people can slip in and so forth and drop motor oil and so. Okay, you can't do that. Again, just stay in your square. So they can tell you not to do that because but they can't tell you what kind of clothing to wear when you walk into their store. They can advise you, right? Oh, it's, I remember this one place, they had like, it was Red Nose Day, and they wanted their customers, just for giggles, to wear like black pants, a white shirt, and a red nose. Anyway, okay, but they wouldn't refuse you service if you didn't wear your red nose, your white shirt, and your black pants. They just wanted you to be, and I have to say, this is a store in Los Angeles. It was kind of amusing. It was to have everybody in there dressed like most everybody. It's like when you go to a Halloween party that's a theme party. Like I had a friend that they had a great Western theme party, and 99% of the people there, it looked like you were walking into a Wild West saloon. It was awesome, just for fun. Okay, but they couldn't force you. Right? Okay, the governor and mayor is trying to say that, yeah, they can force you to go buy something, put it on, and then you can exercise your rights. That's the answer. Okay, I will talk to you guys by hopefully this weekend, but like I said, oh, by the way, Justin, Rosie died. Tom's mother has finally passed. after outliving my mom, after outliving my neighbors, after outliving her husband, after outliving 99% of the family, after outliving pretty much Mark's mom, all my friend group, she outlived everybody's fucking parents, and finally she bit the bullet. So anyway, we're having I don't know what the fuck it's going to be this weekend because people are afraid and this and that. But anyway, that happens on Saturday, so I'm not doing that. And if you knew this guy doesn't get up before noon on a good day. And somehow his own mother's funeral is at like 8:30 in the morning. And he'll have to be there an hour early to help set up. And I've known this guy since we were like 4, so I kind of sort of am obligated to go down there and help too. But I mean, fuck. Anyway. So I'm not making a video like this, and I'm not having free time, and that's probably, and if you know how it goes in Hawaii, it's going to be an all-day thing, and oh my God. Anyway, and then Sunday, I might have time free. And then, like I said, but I don't think so because I have other people that I have to give a hand moving and so on. And that was what happened yesterday. I was going to make a video, but we wound up down there, what was supposed to be 3 hours, wound up taking 8 because holy crap, because he got a lot of stuff. You think I got stuff, he's got stuff. And I mean, big, heavy stuff that it takes 2 or 3 guys to carry some of this stuff. Whereas I don't think I might have 2 things that would take 2 guys to carry. Other than that, my possessions are down to the point where I don't have anything heavy. If you got a hand truck, I can move. But not this guy, because like I said, he's starting from scratch and he's going to put up a shelter on that property and water and toilets and all that shit. And it needs to move out there, and it's going a long ways. So, long story short, don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it this weekend either. But there's some shit I want to share with you beyond what I did today. And if I do get kicked off of this thing, then look for me on BitChute is the #1. And like I said, we'll go from there. And more stuff on health that I've discovered, more documents that I've dug out, and I'm trying to get the information out there, but you know, there's this thing called life. And I got 2 little boys and. All right, so have a great Aloha Friday. I'm sure when I watch this, there's going to be like, why didn't you just cover that while you were doing it? You've gone on for fucking 2 hours and 46 minutes. Why not do that? But anyway, hopefully we'll get something together this weekend. If not, look for it. Weekends are better. And if not, Fridays are looking pretty good. And if not, maybe Tuesday is another day that I have kind of sort of opened up. But this is the other thing. I've been this whole lockdown and crazy Corona nonsense and that they have going on. And of course, I was talking about beers, you know, cervezas, because they're smart, but it's not that smart. But the idea is that my business has basically, I'm going to go doubled because everybody's looking for math tutors and everybody's looking for homeschooling and everybody, right? Okay, so my business has gone through the roof because of this. But that just because it's gone through the roof, because it doesn't mean that I should, because I know people that's happened to them, so they think that, well, I'm benefiting, so put your mask on. No, don't put your mask on. Don't do it. That's dumbassery. That's them just seeing. See, did we fucking tell you about the camps? We told you about the camps. Oh, that's crazy talk. You feel like they would never put camps in the United States. We're in the United States. They would never build camps for us. They can't censor the internet. And they can't put you in a camp. This is the United States. Yes, they can, and yes, they will. And they made it pretty clear that they were going to put you in camps. And this year, they absolutely, especially now, and see, this is the thing. People are like, well, why doesn't Trump act? Why doesn't he act right now? Why doesn't he arrest everybody? Why isn't there a mass arrest? Because now that these guys think that they're winning, see, just like, all right, I'm not going to get into it too terribly, but among the first of us that ever went out and found Elefanta's bullshit Instagram, I believe is what we were scoping out. When we were doing we went on a couple of quote-unquote witch hunts, and we were all shocked and amazed to find that, yes, in fact, there are witches. That it's not just nonsense. All right. One of the jackasses that was with us started going on about, oh, you got pictures like this. Like, shut the fuck up. You should never let them know. Okay. In reverse, or in the same vein, Trump is making it look like, and if you read your Sun Tzu, when you're weak, right, you make them look like you're strong, and when you're strong, make them look like you're. So he's making them look like he's weak. Oh, I've lost. Oh, all hope. Oh, you've got me. Oh no. And yet you see him partying and stuff. And like I said, he's not in panic mode at all. And the other guys are in panic mode. If you just take a look at what's going on, you can see who's got control of what. And they're putting on a good show because he's a reality TV star again, once again. But the point is that he is absolutely not going to let these guys into the White House. And now that they think he's losing, they are showing true colors like motherfuckers, aren't they? We're going to put you in camps, and they're kids, right? And what was her, Marianne, what the fuck, the new age Sufi goofy girl? Oh, he should be hunted down in a forest. Hunted down in a forest? What? Marianne Williamson or whatever her name is? Yeah. See, they're showing true colors. You get to see which one of the Republican senators was a backstabber. You get to see which one of the Republicans in the House was not on the team that was a rhino. We get to see all these different people being themselves because now they think, because they brought the Kool-Aid, because they believe the media, because they believe their own lies, and they somehow believe that they can steal and lie, cheat, rob, steal, and get away with it, and go engage in traffic and get away with it. And see, the thing that is just the most amusing thing to me is the final straw. Not that they're raping babies, not that they're right. The final straw was men with guns were left to die and be killed with other men with guns, and other men with guns absolutely couldn't abide by the fact that they didn't get to go over there and fight. You know what I'm talking about is Benghazi, and yeah, that was the final straw. Never mind all the screaming children, right? So don't fucking tell me that you think that there's a good guy on this team, because there ain't no good guys on either team. There's baby rapers and baby bombers. And then there's people that make excuses for baby rapers, and there's people that make excuses for baby bombers. But anyway, when the baby bombers finally got pissed off and figured out that the baby rapers didn't have any respect for their code of honor, that's when they finally decided that they had to act. Right? So fuck all y'all when it comes to there's a good team and a bad team. There are two teams. One team is better than the other team. That's it. Right? Yes, peace is absolutely the prize. And some of these men are in for it, but most of those men just enjoyed the what's the word? They enjoyed the contest. Well, I don't enjoy the contest, but the bad guys lose, and they're doing everything they can. And see, I just gotta shut up. I'll try to get some stuff together this weekend. No fear. That's the other key. I can't stress it enough. You're here forever. It doesn't matter whether the body comes or goes. Yeah, you're going to leave guys behind and so forth. But in the grand scheme of things, it goes forever and ever. So be of good cheer and get to the other side in this body, in this life, the way it is now, and have a fun time doing it is the idea. And then when we get to the other side, we are scant years now. It used to be decades, but we are scant years away from you having a vehicle that you never have to drive into a gas station, because you don't need, the thing will never need refueling. Will it need fixing? Yes, it's a mechanical device, so it's gonna, right? But are you gonna need to put fuel in it? Fuck no, ridiculous. And see, until we get to the mindset where enough of us get to the mindset where water is fuel, but you don't even need that. When you get to the point where you understand that there's energy everywhere all the time, and Tesla told you about it, and that it is a possibility, not a possibility, that it is absolutely the thing that could be tapped into, and we don't. When you finally get enough of us that get to that point, that's when it happens. But right now, you got to understand, there's trillions invested in the energy infrastructure that we have now. So, yeah, they're not just going to turn over and be like, screw that. We don't want gasoline anymore. But you may get to the point where you get a gasoline engine that runs, 100 miles to a gallon. That's entirely impossible. But we are scant years away from, you don't have to plug the thing in. Fucking Elon Musk. Fuck that guy. Anyway, figurehead, gatekeeper, bullshitter of the bullshitters. But that's coming. Free, quote unquote, free energy coming. Anti-grav coming. All of that shit. If you can, whatever you saw as a child and still seeing in Star Wars and Star Trek, yeah, that and more coming. But we got to get there first. And they don't trust us with that technology. And I wouldn't trust us either with that technology. So we got to get to the point where who's the they I'm talking about this time, but where they can trust us. Because yeah, we can destroy the whole planet with this intelligence, with this kind of technology. I mean, literally, some jackass could fuck up and destroy the whole thing. So you got to have respect, because you got to understand, they dropped the atom bombs, still debating on whether the fact that reaction that they took place was going to blow up the whole entire planet, or if it was going to be, they were, right, because it's theoretical physicists arguing, and they dropped the fucking bomb anyway. Twice. And then they did it again and again and again all over the United States. They dropped bombs inside our own fucking country. Gee, how come the radioactive tobacco kills people? And how come the plants are... Anyway, and then they did the same thing in the Pacific, and then we found out maybe it's a bad idea to blow up fucking nuclear devices on the planet. Anyway, I'm blowing up those nuclear devices, though, over and over again. Got the attention of others. These monkeys, again. And yeah, and now things are happening really rapidly. And see, it's, again, if you believe in the 2046 thing, and if you understand that the sun is going to sneeze, and you understand that there's all kind of stuff happening, I got it written on a board over here, and the dates and so on. So yeah, for the last couple of decades, they'll have a fun time, and then it resets, and then there's an actual reset, and the sun will rise where it sets, and the set while it rises, and the planet spins the other way, and oh my God. Anyway, you don't want to be here for that, or maybe you do, but then you want to move on. I kind of sort of would love to sit down and watch the sun rise where it used to set and set where it used to rise. I think that would be very cool. But if you understand the abject devastation that this planet is going to go through, then maybe you're not looking so forward to that. But anyway, I expect that's what's coming. And now that they've fucking butt-fucked us for 12,500 years, the last 20 years, you know, you get to raise your kids how you want and not have to worry about paying them for electricity. Woohoo! Winner! Anyway, but it's coming. I'm telling you. Be happy. All right. Like I said, I'm going to try and get something. If I don't get something this weekend, hopefully Tuesday. If not Tuesday, then maybe next Friday. And maybe not at all on this channel, because like I said, there's a chance. Because if they took down those other two videos, I have way more stuff than that they can run across. And so I might get more strikes and be taken down, not even for stuff I'm doing now, but for stuff that I did a couple years ago. So like I said, this channel is iffy, but you got the BitChute thing. Just look right there, how to spell it, 100th monkey. And I try to make it consistent across platforms. So 100th monkey, Crouton Ramon, Ben Rogers. Ben Rogers is ridiculous because there's a gajillion of Ben Rogers. So there is no Ben Rogers out there on the nets. That's me. But the Crouton Ramon and 100 Monkey are unique. Same thing you got to be doing with your other guys. And it's going to settle out where you're able to have some alternative. And some of it doesn't deserve it. Like this channel, when there's alternatives that are as good, why would we come back to these fuckers? Right? Same thing with Facebook. Same thing with Twitter. Right? Why would we go back to them when they've been like this, when they didn't respect our rights, when they didn't respect our free speech, when they basically told us that we can do what the fuck we want? All right, then let's go support new platforms that don't have that attitude. And they never get it back, even when everything's over and when they change the 230 law and everything, and it's right. They don't deserve your business, is what my point of view. All right, educate yourself. Hugely important. Me was you, I wouldn't pay for this with a credit card. Just saying. Wouldn't order this off of Amazon if I was you. You get that one. Rather important. And all it is Xerox pages of the... Anyway, but yeah. But paper thin. Another one I wouldn't order with a credit card. This is not a quote-unquote real, but there's good stuff in this. And this is like as cheaply made as possible. It's already coming apart, and I've only had it a little while. Anyway, but in here, let's do a reading for today. Law 52. Rise early in the morning and work late into the night, but divide your time for family, work, and love accordingly. And then there's a little passage about it. Law 53. Never be afraid to try and never be afraid to fail. Go do it. Start now and make it happen. And if you fail, say, so what? What is that? Right, right. It doesn't say draw a pentagram on the floor and place a young baby that was born. Right? None of that's in here, and none of that's going to be in the books, right? And get your candles out, and right, an old priest and a young priest. None of that, right? It's that they don't put that in there. But what they do, and that's like 33 and more. Okay. But what they do is tell you how to prosper and right living, because they want the guys that make it through all the degrees to be prosperous. They want them to be trustworthy. They want them to be, quote unquote, all the good things, so that they do all of these virtues, and now they are going to be the last ones you suspect in your communities. How could he be a baby raper? He worked at Shriners. How could he be a trafficker? He worked at, right? He donated time at the food shelter, or at the homeless shelter and at the food bank. He has a nice house and a nice car and a lovely wife, and he does everything. How could he, right? Get it? Okay. So you want to be like that, minus the baby raping. All right. Talk to you guys soon. E pluribus unum. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Get yourself knowledge. There's so much. As my son has finally figured out, there's not enough hours in the day to learn everything you want to learn. He wants to learn language. He wants to learn about how to trade stock. He wants to learn about health. He wants to learn, health and nutrition. He wants to learn about music and music theory. There's something I'm not even doing at all. And he's teaching himself how to play guitar and hanging out with other people. And then, of course, now there's all the cool gadgets. And I have one here, but he's got like these cool little amps that make crazy amounts of noise. And okay, so there's all that you got to know about. And then there's language, like I said, Chinese, and then there's Spanish, and then there's, right? I mean, there's not enough hours in the day. So what do? They give you TV. They give you this kind of YouTube. Usually it's not guys like me saying shit like this. Usually it's kiddies and children and other girls putting makeup on and singing songs about bullshit and being bullshit and bullshit. And then they give you some bullshit so that you can bullshit, and then you're distracted and you don't ever learn the law, and you don't ever learn anything about Wayne Jett and these people that have been fucking you in the ass for ever and ever, your parents and their parents and so on. And now they were going to try and do the final thing. And then you think that this book is about Jesus part. Anyway, and then right? And you never even heard of this one. And then when it comes down to it, you don't know what the fucking words mean in any of the books anyway, because you read it at the fucking second grade level. And then you can't figure out that, yeah, it's not a joke that they use grammar fair and lawfare against you to fuck you so that they can take money from you, because you don't understand what the words mean and how the different grammar makes a difference. So go ahead and turn your video game on and play for 6 hours. Go ahead. That's 6 hours less, and 6 hours more toward them being able to extract as much wealth from you as they possibly can. Now, I'm not saying being an insane fanatic and that you do have to have some free time and so on. But like I said, educate yourself, and then you can educate others, and you can find, and you're seeing that educating others turns out to be rather a pain in the ass, isn't it? Rather difficult, because you can't educate others. Who can you educate? Self. Maybe your son or daughter. Maybe your wife, right? Okay. Yeah, there you go. Oh, and somebody, I'm confident it was somebody in this chat, gave me a $5 a month Patreon. And I want to say thank you for that. Dala. And then everybody always complains about not having my Patreon. Well, here's the other thing. I don't want to get addicted to Patreon or start getting used to having Patreon coming in, because that's another way they get you, right? Ask all these other guys that got booted off of, I mean, they're booting them off of platform after platform now. If you've been booted from like 3 different platforms, that might be somebody you want to follow. Right? That might be somebody who, because they really want to shut that person up. So they really don't want you to hear what they have to say. So maybe you want to hear what they have to say. And I think about, like, Greg Hunter is still on YouTube, but like Jordan Slather's off. The guys that were doing On the Edge are off. Amazing Polly got kicked off. I mean, all these other people got kicked off, right? The SGT report guy got kicked off. The S22 report guy got, okay. So, and then they got another, and then they kicked them off of that. So maybe you want to follow some of those guys and hear what they have to say. Definitely. And then same thing with the health gurus and so on. So again, educate yourself, educate others, and take it easy, Crime Stoppers. We're going to get through this. You want to get through this, educate yourself, and then educate others. All right. E pluribus unum. I will talk to you guys. I will hope soon. I hope I don't get kicked off of this, but if I do get kicked off of this, BitChute is the place to be.